most, Doctor.
I love big titties.
Hey now, I didn't do it as great as Christian does, but the doctor's in the house. Doctor,
Hey
I love big
now.
titties. What's going
Hey
on?
now.
How's it going, everybody? We're back, and I'd be remiss if I did not first and foremost call out right at the beginning here, Christian. We are 4 days away from the very first night we recorded the very first episode of the Uneeda Horror Podcast. We recorded the first episode May 19th, 2021. It dropped on May 20th, 2021, obviously. And it was the history of Scream Factory. We've had probably around 200 episodes since then. Been a wild, wild ride, brother. 5 years, half a decade, and we're still doing this shit.
That's crazy.
And I
it
don't
feels
know
like we
you,
just started to me sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this. If you've noticed, I'm sure you have. I've gone back and I've like perused some of our older stuff. We both look and sound younger. Like aging's a real thing, dude.
Dude, I know I look like shit now. I was a young buck when we first started. I was 29 years old, full of life and energy. I had short hair. I still cared about what I looked like. Now my droopy eyes getting droopier. My skin's bad. I'm in a worse mood typically.
We both got IBS.
We both have IBS. But you know what, dude? You live and you learn and you grow, and I'm just happy to be on the right side of the dirt.
Yeah, same here. And I want to let you know,
I'll say 5 years from now when I'm 39, which is fucking crazy to say. Will I be 39? Yeah, I'll be 39. Maybe if I'm hoping I don't say I look a lot younger 5 years. I think with men, like we kind of max out in our 30s and 40s. As long as we take care of ourselves to a certain degree, I think men age fairly gracefully.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll hit our stride. Like Pizzo, he still looks really good. I'm not saying Piz is old. I think he's like 40 something, 45, but he still looks very, very, his skin's good and everything. So
he looks like he's in his 30s. You know, I don't feel like he's aged really the last 10 years. He
no,
just kind
he
of
looks
the same.
Yeah, he looks pretty. He doesn't look like Peter Griffin as much when I first started watching him.
Yeah.
He definitely had the Peter Griffin look. So
I kind of miss it. I'm gonna be real with you. I kind of miss it. He's this chiseled. He belongs in like Robert Eggers, the Northman. He would have worked in that. But yeah, I mean, it's been 5 years. It's been, you know what blows my mind more than anything, and I want to say I posted something for people to ask questions. We will have a block at the end of the episode where we answer the questions. But what blows my mind more than anything, I think, is, dude, we've been doing this show for 5 years now, and you and I have met up in person one time. And do you know how many times over the years people have been like, oh, when are you guys going to do another in-person episode? Like, or a con, people, hey, are you going to Frightmare with Christian? I'm like, I live in Ohio, bro.
Yeah.
Like, sure, could we coordinate those things? Yeah, but like, it is kind of crazy to me because like I talk to you more than any of my other friends, and it's like I've seen you one time.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I'll say it here. I'm making it happen. Halloween 50. I'm gonna go for broke. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna get over my fear.
You talked to Sydney about that yet?
No, I mean, it's not like I need permission or anything from her. But
is
like,
she gonna go? Like, is that
no? I can't blame her for not wanting to go to a Halloween convention. But she knows it. She knows it's something I want to do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a good time. I want to meet a few people while they're still alive and well. And if it is the last one, I want to say I was there, man. Like I really do. Like I want to say I was there. I want to go. I want to touch the bushes. I want to do the tour. I want to see the house.
Touch the bush. That's right.
All jokes aside, it's just like You know what, man? It really always I think for almost every horror fan, right? Like, no matter what you gravitate towards, whether you love Dawn of the Dead, you become a Romero guy, or if you become an Elm Street guy, a Friday the 13th guy, it doesn't matter. Like, it always I feel like everybody starts with Halloween in one way. It always goes back to Halloween. It
Mhm.
really does, and it's like, do I wanna go to Crystal Lake? I do, that's up in Jersey, and I've done stuff like, the camp, Nobi Bosco, they'll sell
Mhm.
Crystal Lake, like, actual camp water, and, I get stuff like that because 'cause I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever make it up to Jersey, and I bought some of the beach sand they sell, and, that stuff means a lot to me, but, like and yeah, I wanna go. I wanna go to Jersey and go to Nobi Bosco, but more than anything, I think it's like I wanna just stand in front of the house of that of ho the movie I've watched, like so many people, over and over again. I wanna breathe the air. I wanna see the palm trees in the distance. Dude, it's like it's crazy that certain movies years later it's like Halloween even kinda triggered people to become YouTubers, just to
Mhm.
talk about that fucking movie because they love it so much. It's like
Me.
yeah, and it's like, whether I'd like to admit it too, it's like, me as well, that's the truth, so, I think we need to just I think I know I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make the most out of it, I'm gonna have a good time, and it'll be my first time in California, it may be my last time, I don't know, but it'll be my first time, I know that, but I'm going, I'm 100% going, there's 0 excuse for me not to be able to go, unless I'm dead.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, dude. I mean, I've been twice, and it's really, really. This is gonna sound super lame, but I remember rolling up to the Myers house the first time. This was during COVID, so nobody was traveling, bro. We didn't have any traffic in LA. It was awesome, and I remember pulling up, and we pulled up to the side of the house to park on the street, and I remember like telling my ex-wife, like, "Come on, like, get out of the car, let's go." She's like, "I gotta get the baby," because we had an 8-month-old at the time,
Mhm.
and it was just like this it's this really weird feeling. Like, you're walking around the side of the house, like, damn near identical to the steps that, like, little Myers took, that you watch every time you watch that movie to go around the front of the house, and yeah, it's really surreal because, like, to some people, they don't get it, they don't understand, but, like, I was like, "Dude, I'm standing like where Donald Pleasant stood. Like
You're
that's
st
just
yeah.
it's there's just something about that that's like, you know, it's crazy to me. I'm looking inside this house right now at the steps that Carpenter walked and Pleasance walked, and like that's just it's crazy. Like it is really hard to put into words. And even the second time I saw it, it's so crazy how you're in Pasadena, man. Like it's a suburb of Los Angeles. In the distance, you can see downtown LA. It's about 15 minutes away. And you're in this weird little slice of suburbia right outside Los Angeles. And it hasn't changed much at all, dude. The streets still look the same. I recreated the shot from the four-way intersection where it says like Haddonfield Halloween as after the opening. And like I recreated the exact spot and it looks exactly the same. The trees, the houses, like it's really, really something. And it was cool to be there both times I've gone there, but it's going to hit different to be there with people that were there. Like the parts of people that were a part of those movies. Like that's going to be something that's going to be really hard to put into words. And I mean, whether it's the last one or not, like you said, we already know it's the last one for Sean Clark. He told both of us that I'm done after 50. And he told Malik the same thing. That's my last one. So they're going all out. I made a joke, and we've talked about it before. I was like, well, unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to get Rob Zombie there. And what did Sean Clark say? Never say never. He's like, I'm not ruling anybody out for 50. Now, will Rob probably go? No. But
My question is, will there be new Halloween material by that point? Like, movie, television stuff? Will there be
I
new
think
stuff
they'll at
out by that point?
I think they'll at least announce something there. like to coincide with it. I do.
I remember you kept being like, "Christian, listen, like, it makes sense if they did a TV show based off of part 3, like, I could
Mhm.
see that. I would rather die." Like,
You c
I'm not
I
even
know,
kidding.
I
I
know,
would I
we don't even have to talk about that. You've told me many times before, like, "No, don't touch it. I don't care if you do a prequel, sequel, nothing. Don't touch
you know
it."
what I'm saying? It's just like, I
Yeah.
don't wanna know what happened at the end.
No, but I would like to see the town, Santa Mira, before. Like, how did it get to where how did it become this company town that was run by Cochrane, where everybody was involved in this? How did this little slice of Americana become a fucking Irish mask making witchcraft hub? Like,
Mhm.
I would like to see that. I think that would be cool because it wasn't always that way. I agree with you halfway. I don't want a sequel. I don't want to know what happened after Tom Atkins was screaming, "Stop it." I don't want to know. But how did we get to where we were? How the fuck they get the rock from Stonehenge? Now, realistically, I don't want the answer to that either. I just accept that. But like, I'm just saying, if you're gonna do Halloween 3, you would have to do some kind of prequel. You cannot build off of that because it'll just undercut that ending, in my opinion. Like, it just will. That ending is supposed to be ambiguous. It's supposed to make you as the viewer go, dude, what happened? Did all the kids in America just die? Like, what? We don't know, and we're not gonna know. But I will say this too, Christian, and I'm whatever. I'm praying. I'm positive vibes. Whatever you want to say, that Tom Atkins makes it to 50, because I want to sit at the Buccaneer and have a beer with him because he does it at every 5-year anniversary.
He'll
Sean
be
Clark told us about it. He's like, and he's like, he doesn't just, it's not 5 minutes. He sits there for hours and drinks beers. I
God
want to
bless him.
sit. Don't you want to sit at the fucking Buccaneer bar from Halloween 3 with Tom Atkins and drink a beer?
Not only yes, but I'll tell you what I really wanna do. First off, I'm gonna go meet him a week from this coming Sunday. He's gonna be at Texas Frightmare. Him, Stacy, and Tommy Lee Wallace. They're all gonna be there, and I'm just gonna go sweep them and get out of there on Sunday. But Imma ask him about that when I see him. But you know what I really wanna do as even more than that? I wanna go there when nobody's there, and I just wanna sit there
Just like
and
Halloween 3.
drink, and I just
Yeah.
wanna drink, you know? I wanna
Yeah.
do that as much as
Well, what?
sitting there with, because you know it's gonna be a hornet's nest with
When I went
Atkins in
there,
there,
oh yeah, Sean Clark told us there's a line out the door.
and
Like,
people
but
just kinda come in and they talk for a minute and then walk off.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I bet you that's painful for poor Tom. Poor Tom, like, you
Sean,
know.
dude, Sean says he's a good sport about it. He loves it.
Oh,
Like he,
because you can tell he's a guy that appreciates everything he's ever done. I get that, but still, it's like you gotta be on for hours while people just come in and pretend to you know what I'm saying? It's like you just gotta sit there. I feel for him. That's a job in and of itself,
well,
man.
the crazy thing is, when I went there almost 2 years ago now, the last time I went, and I finally got to go into the Buccaneer, because you remember the first time I went during COVID, it was closed. So I
Mhm,
didn't get to go inside. This time, when I got us the t-shirts and everything from the bar, love that shirt, by the way.
mhm.
Um, I was talking to the bartender. There was only like 2 people in there. It was the middle of the day. And I was talking to her a little bit, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I was here a couple years ago for the 45th." And she's like, "Man, Tom Atkins," she's like, "he just throws him back." She's like, "I'm pretty sure he's in his 80s now." And I'm like, he's damn near it." I was like, "He's pretty old." She's like, he sat there for hours. He shook hands, he took pictures, and he threw back more than a dozen beers." And she's like, I mean, I'm like, he's a legend, bro.
God bless him.
You watch those movies from the 80s. That's not acting. That's Tom Atkins. Like, it is. It's not acting.
Well,
That
Halloween
dude
3
was,
was his autobiography
yeah,
of his
like,
life.
that dude was chain smoking and drinking whiskey. And like, we've talked about this before. There are some people, it just genuinely doesn't affect them. They can live to be 90 years old. Like, it just didn't kill them. And I'm so glad it didn't, because like, Tom Atkins was born to smoke Marlboro Reds, shoot whiskey, and bang hot women.
That's
And
right.
like, that's so I'm glad you're meeting him in a week, because I got to be honest with you, man. I'm worried. I'm worried. We got 2 years, and I'm like, you better hold on, you son of a bitch. I don't care if they got to put a a damn IV up to him with straight up Jack in that IV. I don't care. You can keep this man going because I got to meet him. Yeah. And Stacy too, like you just start to think about, I mean, you remember it. Sean told us they're pretty sure they're going to get Jamie Lee for 50, bro. Like, so be prepared. That place is going to be a madhouse.
Dude, I got to say really quick, like, I don't understand what people really want when it comes to Jamie Lee. They get mad when she dogs, like, somebody was like, I took my kid to see this movie, my 5-year-old to see this movie, and she's like, shame on you. Don't take a 5-year-old to see that. And people are like, oh, that's fucking crazy that she said that. Really? That's crazy that she said don't take a 5-year-old to a horror movie. Like, she can't have an opinion about that. Yeah, as a parent, take your kid to it if you want to, but like, is it really that fucking outlandish to say you shouldn't do that? Not to mention, it's like, I don't know what it is, dude. I hate to be I hate to be like a Jamie Lee defender, but excuse me, I'd rather hear somebody that I disagree with be honest than act like they're full of fucking shit. And be like, oh, this was blah, 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 blah. It's like so many people are fake and phony in Hollywood. And I never see Jamie as being like that. She's been open about her fucking drug addiction when she was making Parent Trap. She's been open about not loving horror films. It's like, you know what? I appreciate the fucking honesty for once. Like, I really do. And I don't get what people's fucking problem with her is. It's that she doesn't like suck the horror fans' asses. Like,
It's
sorry.
It's that and her personal beliefs. There's people that obviously she's very outspoken about her ideology. And
you know what? Fine. Like, she's, a lot of people in Hollywood are on the left like that. And oh well. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean,
she got shit. You know what, dude? I'll say this. She got fucking shit when she said, I know that Charlie Kirk was a father and a husband, and the one thing I will say about him, I disagree with him vehemently, but he was a man of faith, and I hope that he's after his death, he's in heaven, blah blah blah. She got shit for that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. She can't win at this point. It doesn't matter what she says. Like, I agree with you. The fact that she is authentic and the fact that she does kind of tell it like it is, whether we agree or disagree, I respect that. And I think at the very least, people should respect the fact that, yeah, she's not phony.
That's the thing I hate about the internet. I'm just going on a quick rant. People lost their fucking minds when Martin Scorsese was like, yeah, those superhero movies are not cinema to me. Who the fuck do you think you are? He's Martin Scorsese, you stupid fucking idiots. You guys, including me, will get on a fucking camera and shit on movies all day long and say, this is bullshit, this sucks. I do it, I get it. But guess what? I'm not going to give Martin Scorsese shit when he fucking has an opinion. Like, do people not realize how stupid they sound? Is it just me? Like, I swear, I fucking can't stand the internet sometimes because people are stupid. That's fucking crazy of him to say that. Yeah, not everybody wants to watch a 3-hour mafia movie. Like, well, guess what? He's got an opinion. So do you.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to it.
I don't get it. I swear, people, they just say dumb shit so they can get clicks or they can get a bunch of retweets. Everybody sees what you people are doing.
Here's the most hypocritical part of all of it, Christian. This has pissed me off for years and years. They only have a problem with it when someone is saying something they disagree with. Yes. If he came out and said, I love superhero
Marvel
movies,
is cinema.
Yes. All of those people would be like, see, he gets it. How based is he? But because he said something they didn't like, or Jamie Lee said something they didn't like, it's that same going back to just shut up and do your job. Stick to your job. No. Like, they're a person too. I'm sorry that what they said may not be in alignment with you, but you don't be a hypocrite there.
Here's another example really quick, Nick. And I vehemently disagree with this guy. What I'm about to say, I vehemently disagree with it.
Who?
Paul Dano is a motherfucker. He won me over so many times as an actor. Yeah. He has been in some of he looks so uncinematic. He looks like a guy that could be part of the geek squad at Best Buy, or he's a nerdy looking guy. I'm not saying I'm not a nerdy looking guy. My point is, he's not a Brad Pitt. He's not a Tom Cruise. He's not a what you have. And Tarantino dogged him. He goes, he's a weak ass effing actor, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, people lost their minds on him. And I'm like, I mean, the guy made fucking Pulp Fiction. Can he not have an opinion? A strong one at that? He made Pulp Fiction. He resurrected John Travolta's career. Can that guy not have a shitty opinion? I think it's a shitty. I love Paul. I do. I think he's awesome. I disagree with him. But for fuck's sake, do you guys really care that much that he had an opinion that you disagree with? I hate the internet sometimes, dude.
No, but here's the funny thing about that. I think a lot of the people that were that incensed about it probably already didn't like Tarantino. So it was just like fuel to their fire. I agree with you. Do I think that Tarantino should have said it? No. Do I think it was misguided, shitty, and just
no? I don't care that he said it. I just disagree with him. Well, I'm glad he said it because it's real. He has a real fucking opinion. Well, I'm glad he said it. I just disagree with him.
Yes and no, but I'm just saying from the perspective of he is objectively wrong. Dano is a good actor.
He's a motherfucker. Dude, he's underrated.
Yes, to say otherwise, you haven't watched Prisoners. You haven't watched The Batman. Like, that guy is a great actor. So Tarantino's wrong, but you're allowed to be wrong. There's no crime against being wrong. Do I think it was shitty? Yeah, it was fucking shitty, but
how dare he? How dare he? Tarantino. Who
does he think he is? A multi-millionaire. Like,
that he made Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sake, can he not have an opinion? Whether you agree? That's my thing, dude. It's like people. I hate the fake outrage. It's like, guys,
all outrage.
You know, it's like when the Scream stuff was continuing to go on about Melissa. I'm like, we are in one of the worst economic times ever. And this is what you people really give a fuck about.
Yep.
These rich people.
Go fill up your car.
I guarantee you.
Having fun with it right now? I'm not.
No, I'm pissed. Melissa is going to be fine. I mean, she does not care as much as you people do at this point.
No.
You know?
No.
Anyway.
But what I would have agreed with that largely until that interview, like 2 weeks ago or so.
What'd she say? I didn't even bother to read it.
It was a bunch of sour grapes. I mean, it was essentially, and again, just like we just talked about, she is 100% allowed to say these things. And I commend her for doing it in that regard. But she basically said that everybody that still participated in Scream 7 is essentially a scab, just like the people that crossed the picket lines during the strikes. And then she accused Paramount of potentially lying about the box office numbers. And it's just like, Cody Leach did a nice breakdown of it and was basically like, look, you're allowed to say all this, more power to you. However, if you think that Paramount is just lying, just like calling people up and going, guys, this is what we made. Like, you're dumb. Like, you're just, I get it. But that's the thing too. We live in an age, I love a good conspiracy theory, Christian, and I know you do too, but let's be real. Some of them have gotten way out of hand. The conspiracy culture has gotten way out of hand where nobody believes anything anymore. I mean, I can look at this glass and be like, I have water in this. Yeah, but do you? Who told you that was water? You don't know that that's water. And it's just like we've gotten to that point where it's like,
you know why we've gotten to that point? Because our government is protecting what.
Oh,
so
no.
What are we supposed to believe anymore?
I know.
What the fuck are we supposed to believe?
I know, but I will also say, I want to see the same energy from those kinds of people. The same energy from those kinds of people that were like, no, never mind. I'm not going to get into that. But I'm just saying,
people, this world is fucked.
You guys always. By the way, if you're new to the podcast, we're almost a half hour in. This is what we do. Welcome. The world sucks, but everybody's allowed to have their opinions. We should respect that.
Midterms are coming up, everybody.
But just as much as they're allowed to say dumb shit, you're allowed to tell them it's dumb.
That's right. That's all I'm getting. My thing is this. It's just like that's all I was really getting at. It's like people are flabbergasted. They're so used to Anne Hathaway types that are like so trained in PR.
Mm-hmm.
Like she gets asked, what's her favorite Lady Gaga song? or what's your favorite song on the new Lady Gaga album? And she obviously hasn't listened to it, but she's so trained in PR. She's like, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one because I've listened to the whole record a couple of times, and as a unit, it's great. But I'm gonna have to come back to you on which one, knowing full well she ain't listened to a damn thing on this.
It's Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden is the best song on the album. Sorry, go ahead.
I haven't listened to it, but my thing is, it's like she's so trained in PR, and that's how most people are in Hollywood. So when Jamie Lee says something that sounds fucking human, and when Tarantino says something like a human shitty opinion, like he had a Jerry Seinfeld moment where he was just like, I want to shit on something. I'm going to shit on something that I don't like. That's what he did. We do it every day, but we hold these people to a higher standard. Fuck that. They're people.
I know. And I can already tell we're going to get a couple comments.
I don't give a goddamn.
I don't either, because guess what? If y'all are new here, you're going to get authenticity. All right.
I think people will agree with that, though. It's like, really, it's like, I think most people that are going to watching this are going to be like, yeah, like you're never going to convince me that these people truly give a fuck that much that Jamie Lee said, don't bring a 5-year-old to a horror film.
No, they don't care. And I don't care, because my mom showed me The Exorcist at 6 years old, and she should not have done that. Now, can you say that it's part of the reason why I'm a big horror fan? Yeah. And part of the reason why I think that's the greatest horror movie of all time? Yeah. However, should have done that. Like, no, what's that? What Cartman says, shouldn't have done that. You're just a boy. Like, that's how it was. You shouldn't have done that. But I mean, I literally thought about that myself, and I was like, could I show my son The Exorcist? Because he is 6. Absolutely not. That kid would sleep in my bed for months. Like,
show him Exorcist 3. That'd probably be worse.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Show him Exorcist 2. He'll go to sleep. We'll reintroduce nap time.
Yeah, Exorcist 2 he'll go to bed, watch Exorcist 2.
All right, so here we are to the meat of the episode. I figured we'd talk about an hour or so about Obsession and other movies like it, because I know there's some things that Christian's going to want to talk about, a movie I haven't seen that he has highly recommended to me, and just kind of the state of horror right now. And then back 20 or 30 minutes, we'll answer all the questions and we'll GTFO. Also, want to let you guys know, Christian wants to do a live at the end of the month. So bring out your checkbooks for the super chats. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we are going to do a live that'll probably be a little less restrained. Believe it or not, this is more restrained for us. When we go live, it's kind of a free-for-all. Not as much of a free-for-all as when we dabbled in Uneeda After Dark for about a month there, and then that quickly went by the wayside. So, Christian, I'm just going to set the stage. All you guys understand, I've not asked him his opinion on this movie. I don't know what he thought. He went and saw it, and we started recording. So, we could be like polar opposites here. This is my favorite horror movie since X.
Take it away. Go ahead. You break it down first.
It's hard to. I mean, in my review, I think I covered it fairly well. But essentially, this movie made me uncomfortable, like nearly throughout it. There were moments of like nervous laughter. There's just some imagery in this movie that's just like, it's really subtle. One of the most amazing scenes in the movie is a scene that takes place, for me at least, when she's standing outside his house and he's talking to her after she took a shower and she's in a dress. And I don't know what they did, but the gleam in her eyes as she's talking to him was like really unsettling to me. Such a minor little thing that they did, but it like really got under my skin. The performances, top notch. The score, top notch. I mean, and if you're somebody that has at any point in your life, I think, been in a codependent or a toxic relationship, or you've pined after someone that you were worried or pretty sure that they didn't feel the same way about you, and you wondered what if, I think you'll relate to some degree at moments in this movie. I hate to say that there were also moments that were actually kind of sad, dude, like actually kind of heartbreaking. And we're going to break it down in spoilers, guys. So just letting you know, this is your warning. But as we go, we'll talk about that. But dude, I love the movie. I mean, I was genuinely mesmerized by this movie. I don't know what other word to use, but like, if Curry Barker's going to direct the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this is what I said to Christian after the fact when I walked out of the theater, I'm in. Like I am in, because this guy is going to get the family. He's going to get the macabre nature of the family. The imagery is going to be next level. I'm in, dude. This movie was awesome. I mean, this and X are my favorite horror movies of the 2020s. And I did get one comment that said it wasn't a horror movie. And I literally replied and said, yes, it is. Don't start. Like, so, I mean, that's my overall thoughts. Obviously, we'll break down the minutia, but what are your overall thoughts?
Pretty close. One of the things I really loved about it was that it was like filmed, I think, in like open matte, which kind of threw me off. I wasn't expecting that, but it worked. And if anything, you get more of an image than if they would have cropped it for widescreen. I didn't realize that a lot of stuff is actually like Back to the Future was, I'm getting nerdy already, but like Back to the Future was filmed in open matte. So it was a really, really out zoomed image that was boxy, and all the home video images are zoomed and they're widescreen. You still get a full image, but open matte is a huge spectrum visually, which I like that he did that. It was funny because like I was thinking to myself, there's nothing Blumhouse about this. Like Blumhouse, they typically have the same typical shiny TikTok look of all these movies that they do, and this is not. But then somebody said that like they just bought it after the fact or something.
Yeah. Focus Features is the one that like financed it, and then Blumhouse distributed it, I believe.
I think the best thing I could say about this is if you were to tell somebody, hey, I want to make a horror movie about a guy who has a crush on a girl, but he's probably going to be friend zoned by her, and he basically has like a Zoltar moment where he can make a wish and he wishes that she would be in love with him to the 10th degree, and you played that movie in your head, I actually think Curry got very close to what people actually would imagine, because there is a very tame, cinematic, almost Insidious, Sinister like version of this film where it's jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, and she just kind of appears and she almost acts like some sort of a ghost, like the actual way if it was a Blumhouse film. I'm not trying to shit on Jason Blum, but let's be honest, his whole house of cards is crumbling at the seams. His era is done. Exorcist was a flop. He ruined it. So my point is, like, it's over. So we are now hitting a new era of horror, and he's smart to pick this movie up because he sees the writing on the wall. But we'll talk more about that later. But I think this movie actually met what people have in their in their mind of how disturbing it and awkward it could really get. And the performances were top notch. The girl that played the love interest, which probably isn't the right way to describe her, props to her, man. She put herself out there in really awkward situations. And I think his visual style is still one of the best things. I think the visual style is probably so important. He shoots his movies. I almost wonder if Curry is a big fan of movies from India and movies from like just European films. They're not brightly lit. He loves shading and lighting. Certain scenes, like at the music store, have a green tint. The house has a really dark brown tint. Phenomenal, phenomenal, which is stuff that I think once you get into movies and you start reviewing them, you start picking up on that sort of stuff. But and the best thing I can say is everybody in the theater was fucking up in arms, hooping and hollering. People were freaking out. And when there were moments of jump scares, I'm not going to compare it to Exorcist 3 per se, because you'll never top that jump scare. But he definitely had moments where you were definitely exhaling in the film at moments where it happened, and he got you. Mm-hmm. And that was brilliant. So I think Curry is a guy that he could be one of those guys that slips through the cracks, that manages to do stuff so well that people leave him alone and they let him make his movies. And the reality is, I think there's a lot of people that are that good, but they're beholden to what the big studios force them to have to fucking do. So with that being said, I thought Obsession it's going to be a movie we're going to be talking about for quite some time down the road. Definitely a contender for best of the year. We still have a lot of movies to go, but I think Obsession is going to be a big hit, a really big hit. I think it's going to live on, And just props to all the actors. Phenomenal work. Phenomenal work. I kind of was hoping the movie was going to be ambiguous in terms of its timeline, which it kind of was, but there were cell phones. So it was, for lack of a better term, modern, but almost in the way It Follows was modern. It was like it was retro modern, if that makes sense, which is an aesthetic I'm starting to like. I used to have a problem about that. Overall, though, I thought it was two very enthusiastic thumbs up. Just a really, really entertaining film and very uncomfortable. So, and I expected it to be good. I really did. I've been a fan of Curry for some time. When I heard about Milk and Cereal, I'll be totally honest. I thought who's this dorky looking dude? Like Curry kind of he's you know, he's not he looks like somebody that I would be friends with. And I was just like, this guy's like, he's making this shit. He just doesn't look like it's kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like, I'm sure people, when they heard Wes Craven, they expected this disturbed looking guy in a trench coat because he's got like this brilliant dark name, Wes Craven. It's such a spooky name. And then he just looks like a college professor, you know? So overall, I think we could have a new face of horror with Curry. One of them. There's also another guy, McCarthy, I'll talk about later. That's definitely a motherfucker as well. But I don't think I have any complaints, to be honest with you. I want to. I really do. Like I'm thinking of something I could complain about. I thought the runtime was good, wasn't too long. Yeah, I'll shut up, but I can't imagine people disliking this movie. I really can't.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was going to ask you, do you think that I think the answer to this is yes, but I want to know what you think. Do you think that like this is the movie this year, or because there's one every year. I think this is the movie this year that people are going to make an effort. Very few people are going to make an effort to try to pick apart and be like, it was a little overhyped just to be different. And I'm not saying that there can't be issues with the film. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that everybody has to love this and think that it is the future of horror. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I do think that some people are going to go into this with the expectation that it's great, and they're going to want to find things to kind of nitpick at because they kind of want to go against the grain a little bit. You and I both know there's people like that. It's just, it was okay. I had my issues with it, but
if they can explain them to me and they can verbalize them,
that's what I was just about to say.
I always have respect for somebody.
Yes.
But if they just say, the only thing I can say is if they tell me it's boring and they weren't entertained by it, whether I want to accept it or not, I don't have an argument for that.
Yes.
But if they just say I had some serious problems with this or this, I always say, please explain. I'd like to know, not to challenge them or to try to call them on their bluff, but clearly you didn't like something. What is it? And whether I agree with it or not, but if you can verbalize it, I got no issue with that.
Exactly. That's what I mean, though. I do think there's going to be people that aren't really able to verbalize it.
One of the things that annoys me is one of the things I've seen already, I can't remember if it was a comment in my video, was just like, yeah, I'm really not into making films about crazy girlfriends. It's just a stereotype I don't enjoy seeing. Well, that's a weird thing. I remember, I won't say who it was. It's somebody I remember though. Like they were like, their biggest criticism of X was, yeah, can we just not denigrate growing old? Like, can we not do that? And I'm thinking to myself, what a shitty way to look at that. Everybody has a fear of growing old. Everybody has a fear of being at the end of their life and having regrets. That is that's exactly what he was taught. That's the crux of the movie. What a stupid thing to say. I'm sorry. Like that's literally the point of the film. And it's not denigrating. It's posing a question that we all have about things we worry about, regret. That's the whole point of the film. So, when people say certain criticisms, I just think that that's when I feel like you want to just dislike something and have an opinion that just sounds kind of dumb.
It is a desire, I think, sometimes to be a contrarian, like to be like, I'm glad it worked for you simple-minded people, but and like I mean, maybe I'm oversimplifying that, but that's just kind of how I read it sometimes because it does come across that way because Christian, you and I both know, dude. There are movies sometimes that come out that you're just like I don't know how somebody couldn't at least be like, "Yeah, that was pretty good." Like there's just movies like that where you're like, this is it's pretty damn good. And this is
Mhm.
one of those movies. I mean, it just is. Like, and by the way, also something you mentioned that I really feel like doesn't get talked about enough because I've heard some other people talking about it too. To anybody that has the opinion or the takeaway that, like, oh, I don't want to see these movies about like crazy exes and blah, 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 or crazy girlfriends doing these things and that, they totally misunderstood the movie. She's the victim
Yeah.
in the movie. She
It
is the victim.
it's almost a
And
possession film in a
yes,
sense.
as the movie goes on, you as the viewer are supposed to understand he's the one that had the obsession. He
Yes.
created this. And
That
so,
yeah, that's which I think that's really what the title is about.
yeah.
Curry's a
And
smart guy. He's not an idiot. He knew what he
yeah.
was doing,
And quite
you know?
frankly, there's, I mean, let's just dive right into some of the minutia. One of the things that was the most uncomfortable to me was the sex scene. And it's probably one of the most uncomfortable sex scenes I've ever seen because, again, this is just a technician, like a guy that knows what the fuck he's doing. You're not focused on the fact that you're like seeing them do it. It's the camera's on her face. And Nikki, you're seeing Nikki on her face where she looks just dead faced, like just there. But the entity in her is, rip roaring, having a great time. But the face is what the camera's on, and it's so uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And like in that moment, if you didn't already know, that is the eureka moment to be like, she's the victim in all of this. This is against her will. He made this. And let's be real, dude. As much as he was put off by her or creeped out, he still took advantage of the situation. He did. Like, it happened. Like, I don't know what else to say, but like, this movie is one of those movies that is like, it is a thick ass onion. And if you think that, like, oh, this is just a crazy girlfriend thing that took it too far, you're not peeling back the layers, bro. There's so many layers to it.
That's a pretty good assessment. Yeah. That's the one thing I noticed too, and I wondered if maybe I was putting too much into it, but no, I don't think I was. I was like, when they do have that scene, the soul of Nikki, she couldn't exude happiness in that moment. She was not happy in that scene, and it's almost like the demon almost, like, subdued itself. I'm gonna call it a demon. It's really not that, but, like, that demon subdued itself within her where to punish her, knowing that she's not attracted to this guy. She doesn't wanna be with him. It's kinda brilliant. It's kinda brilliant, and I was kinda worried that they wouldn't stick the landing. I don't know if you wanna get to that already and say it, but, like, I thought the ending was about as good as it could have possibly been. I mean, I really do. I thought because I thought the ending was going in a not as good way, which I still thought was good, but when I saw what happened, I was like, "Holy shit, that's
No,
brilliant. That is
Christian,
brilliant."
the ending actually, it made me sad. Like it actually made me sad. But no, I didn't like cry, but like it made me sad because I but you knew that's where it had to go. The movie told you pretty much the entire time. It reminded us like there's only one way out of this. And like so I knew it was building to that. And I don't know how you were feeling, but like Curry in his writing, in his direction, and in these performances, these actors did it as well. Were really able to make you feel things and view so many things just from a human lens. And like when he is, trying to off himself and like thinking about it, dude, I put myself in his shoes and I was like, yeah, I would do this. I don't know how I could do this. Like you get to that point where you're like, I have to. There's no other way, but I don't know how I could bring myself to do that. Like, how do you even? And like, it was just really human. Like a lot of this movie and all of the character work was just really fucking human. And so, although there's something supernatural obviously at play here, overall, this is a human story. Like,
Mhm.
and it just worked, man. I mean, it really, really worked for me in that way. Like, I don't. This was a movie I didn't watch a trailer, by the way. This was one of the only movies I've ever gone and seen in theaters that I had never seen a trailer for.
Isn't
I'd
it
never.
nice? Isn't it
Yeah,
nice when you
I was.
don't
I went in
have a
totally
canvas at
blind.
all?
Yeah, I had no faces to put to names. I just knew Curry Barker directed it. That's all I knew. And so it was really cool to just go in and form my own. Like, I thought about before I went, I was like, I'm gonna clip some stuff to get ahead of the editing for my review, and I was like, no, because then I'll have to go through the trailer and look up photos. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do that when I get home. So I went in totally blind, and yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, it's aside for, and I talk about all the human stuff and how some of that, a lot of that is really moving and really poignant. There's also some really fucked up shit in this movie, like the cat sandwich. Dude, I don't know if you knew when he took a bite. And by the way, the sound design in this movie is phenomenal. Phenomenal. When he took a bite, it's subtle, but you notice it. You hear him have to pull the meat a little bit in that moment. I was
Yeah,
like, is that the fucking cat?
yeah.
And then like a minute later, I was like, it's the fucking cat.
It was nasty. And
Oh my.
you know what's so brilliant? He really took a story that's as old as time. You know, you've had this girl that liked you this whole time, and you liked her, but you so focused on something that you thought you needed and wanted so much that you missed it.
Mhm.
And it's like that the other girl that I think her dad ran the music shop, she was more my type between those 2 anyway. And I was
Yeah.
thinking to myself, I was like, "Dude, what about her? She's clearly you have a connection with that girl and she's into you. She's making eye contact with you." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Bro, what about her?" You know, but he was
Mhm.
fixated on the other girl.
And by the
And
way,
it
I'm
was
just
a
gonna tell.
tale as old as time, but it really didn't click until they got in the car together. And I was
Oh.
like, I thought that was gonna be beneath Curry to have that moment where it's like, "No, she's the one. She's the one for you, dude." And
Mhm.
now you're seeing her and it's like, this girl's beautiful. Like, she's right for you. She's got style. She's your
And
tempo.
he started to realize it in that moment too. He
In
even
that
said, like,
moment,
yeah,
he said,
like
"Fuck
you.
me."
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, it's like he took elements th if somebody asked me, "Is Obsession original?" I would say, "No." Is it individualistic? 1,000,000%. This is the only kind of movie that somebody like Curry can make from his and this is a soul vision, the way this movie feels. This is not something where you had 4 people in a boardroom running the studio saying, "Well, we need to have this kind of ending." And he's like, "That's not even close to where I'm at." And he's like, "Well, that don't matter. This is what we're gonna do." We know millions of movies where that happened. And individualistic to me is just as important as original. Because if something's individualistic, you're still not mistaking it for anything else.
Mhm.
You know, that's how many zombie films are there? There's a million. There's only one Return of a Living Dead. You're not mistaking Return of the Living Dead for anything. So I want to make sure people understand that's where I'm coming from too. I'm not going to come on here and say, "Oh, he made the most unique film I've ever heard of." No, there's probably tons of movies like that, but there's nothing like this is so individualistic. That is a trait that we need to push more as much as originality, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you are pulling from such human experiences like that, it doesn't matter if it's original, it's relatable to everybody in some way. And I would argue that the best movies, the ones that have the most long lasting impact, are the ones that are relatable, that do touch us in ways that like other movies can't. Sometimes it's really cool to see a movie that is this really unique, out there idea. Like, I mean, just think of a movie off the top of your head, but then when you think about it, you realize like, but I can't relate to that. I don't know what that's like because it's not real. This is very real, and there's something to be said for that. But yeah, man, I mean, getting into, I want to get into some of the scares that I thought were really effective. Nothing made me jump. Granted, I don't jump easily. Like, but the things that really unsettled me, the scene where she's in the corner at night and Curry does this great thing with playing with shadows, and the lighting here is like she's in this perfect spot in the corner and it's lit perfectly to where you see the outline of a face. That's not her face. I don't know whose face I was seeing. I don't know if you noticed that. That was not her face. And when the voice gets distorted and she's like, "Why don't you love me?" I mean, it made me like, I was like, "No, dude, this is not okay." And the way she walked and like quickly went back to the corner and she's like, "Go back to sleep." It's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, that was really, really good. The scene in the car, I'm sure you've seen enough horror movies just like me to know we knew what was what was going to happen. And Curry framed the shot so we knew what was going to happen. You always saw the back of the window. You knew she was coming. We didn't know when. And he drew that scene out. So it was like, I don't know if you felt like I was literally in suspense. Like, I know it's about to happen. I know it. And like when it did, it didn't feel cheap just because I knew it was going to happen, because it happened. But what happened next is not at all what I expected. I'm just going to smash your fucking face against a brick like 25 times. Like,
I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I get the sense that Curry looks at Sam Raimi as one of the best to ever do it. I feel like he's a big Sam Raimi fan. And visually, and that kind of blitzkrieg kind of death scene too was, to me, that was Sam Raimi to the 10th degree. And that scene was fantastic. And that's what I was referencing earlier with the Exorcist scene with the brick, because I was exhaling this pure blissful moment of them realizing it. And I was like, well, they're so far away. She didn't know where they went. Dude, it got me. I was like,
I knew it.
Damn.
I knew it from the framing. I was like, you are focusing. The characters were not in the majority of the shot. They're off to the side, and the window is taking up the majority of the shot.
But the thing is, though, the first time when he goes to work for the day and comes back, she doesn't move from inside the house. She stayed right there. So in my mind, he conditioned the audience to say she's not going to leave, because when he pulled up to the house and he goes to call the number, she doesn't come outside. And I still felt like he was looking at he focused the camera on the front of the house. So I was conditioned to think she wouldn't leave.
You're
so
right.
He tricked me.
But the reason that my mind went there was because just a few minutes prior to that, Nikki was having a meltdown about how she knows that Sarah likes him. And so that's why it was that night that he snuck off. I was like, just 10 minutes ago, they were
yeah, of course,
so,
of course.
And she would have known, I know where you went. I know who you're with. And Sarah, and again, it was done so well, because like, what does he say when he gets in the car? I didn't know you still did this. I didn't know you still came here. Like, they all knew she goes to that spot in the middle of the night. So they had that fight. He disappears in the middle of the night. Nikki knew where he went, and she knew who he was with. And with the framing, I was just like, it's coming. But I was impressed because he withheld for a minute. And I'm like, I was expecting it. I'll tell you the truth. I was sitting there and she's like, there's a couple things I need to tell you. I was expecting it to happen right then. I was like, we're never going to get to know what she's going to tell him. But she told him. And I was like, okay, wow, he's really dicking with us here. And then it happened. But furthermore, I'm really disappointed. I get it wasn't the focus. I'm really disappointed that Bear didn't just like straight out like call his friend out at the end there. I know you've been banging her. Like I know you've been going behind my back. He did say like, oh, you can have her to yourself if you make this wish. But that was it. Because if that was me, and that was my best friend, and like I had been pouring that super awkward scene at the beginning.
He's telling her like, dude, just go talk to her.
Yeah, I would have been like, you're a piece of shit, bro. You've been
Yeah.
banging her for 2 years. Like I wanted that resolution, but again, I understand narratively it doesn't fit there. That's not the focus at that time. Like, but selfishly, as a human, like in his position, I'd have punched my friend in the face, like regardless of what was going on. So, and he was a shitty friend. I mean, he was a shitty friend. Like, there was a lot of examples throughout the movie, like where you're just kind of like, he, although I will say he had the right reading of the situation, he just didn't know. He's like, it looks like you're taking advantage of her. He didn't know the why. He didn't know that she was basically under a spell. But he was right. He did sniff that out, but he was right for the wrong reasons, because we come to find out it's more this selfish, this jealous thing. He was jealous because
he was
yeah,
banging her.
exactly. So it's like you ended up stumbling into the right answer, but it was coming from the wrong place because you're a dick.
And it's just more reason to let the audience know you cannot fuck with people's emotions, because it's just it's a lose-lose. You can't fake any of this shit. You can't. Yeah, it's a brilliant film, man. It really is. It'll be top. It's gonna be one of the best movies of the year. But I mean, dude, this month is stacked.
Yeah,
First off,
talk about Hokum. I haven't
well,
seen
hold
Hokum.
on, hold on.
Okay,
First off, the Masters of the Universe trailer looks fucking wicked. Like Castle Grayskull looked insane. I was like, I hate Jared Leto. I think he's got a god complex, and I think he's got serious issues. I don't like him. But I
Yeah,
can't prove any of that. Dude, he has like these meetings where people flock to his like farm, and he comes out like Jesus Christ in a white robe. Like, what? Like, look it up. You can find it, pictures of it. It's disturbing.
He is. Some people might call him an eclectic dude. He's not an eclectic dude. He's just a fucking weirdo.
Like, yeah, I think he's got a god complex, which is so funny. I said that I said that in like a video about something, and somebody's like, "What even is that? Are you just making up words?" And I'm like, "You've never heard of a god complex? It's a disorder. Like, look it up. Like, Google is your friend." Anyway, so yeah, before that, I want to tell you this. Like, the movie I'm looking forward to more than anything is The Backrooms. And I have the highest of expectations.
That was the first time I saw a trailer for it, by the way, was in the theater.
I'm going to tell you something about The Backrooms. I'm sure you've seen all the videos on Instagram. They're also, they call them liminal spaces too, which is kind of in the same sphere of just like huge places from your childhood or memories you have where there's nothing. So to me, The Backrooms are real. And I want to give the audience just a little bit of insight as to why that is. I have dreamt about these places, but not specifically what you saw in the trailer of that movie. When Katrina happened, and most people, I think Katrina was big enough to where the entire country knew about it. I'm assuming because it was probably, I think it was the worst. Right now, New Orleans is disappearing right now. Like, it's literally like the ocean is like up on the levees in New Orleans. It's bad right now, so I'm praying for New Orleans. But when Katrina happened, the way to explain Katrina for people that may not have a grasp on what it's like to lose your life to a hurricane that literally wipes out your existence. Yes, most people lived and they went away, but like that life you had, when I say it's impossible to have that back, you couldn't even have an eighth of what it was like back. You can't replace the grass that there was. You can't replace the people, the homes. Like you can, but you can't. It's different. Mm-hmm. It's forever different. You can't replicate it. So it was almost like I died and I was able to be born again at the same age I would have been at that exact moment and continue on in a different life. But I had all the memories of the previous life I had, almost like I was reincarnated. That's literally what it felt like. And what would happen is I get chills thinking about it. The first couple years of Katrina, I would go to sleep and I would dream. And I would dream that I would open my eyes. I would be in my mom's Avalanche and we're driving down Judge Perez and we're heading down to Kmart and Blockbuster. And then we go to Save a Center and maybe go to CC's Pizza right outside our subdivision where we lived. And we would go there, or we'd go down to Violet and I'd go play at the ballpark. And I would have these vivid dreams of my life. and I would literally be living my previous life. Well, as time went on, I this is so bizarre, but it's so true. I'm not making this up. As the years went on, I would still continue to have these dreams about me being a 12-year-old going to Gene Evans Karate Center and going to classes. And then I would go to Italian Pie to get dinner with my family. But in these dreams, as time went on, there would be less cars on the road. There would be less people in the room, and then before I knew it, by around 2015, 16, I still do till this very day. I dream about my previous life. When I have these dreams in my head, I open my eyes and I wake up and I'm standing in the middle of Judge Perez Avenue. You could literally look the street up on Google Maps. I grew up in Miro, Louisiana. I open my eyes. I'm standing in the middle of the street. There's no cars. There's no people. And this is how I relive my life. And I'm convinced it's because so much time has gone by that it almost feels like I never had that life. I don't have pictures of my childhood. It's all gone. I have a few that my grandma has, but for the most part, my childhood it's like it didn't exist. And so my life from pre-2005 has become the back rooms in my dreams. When I go to sleep and dream about my childhood, nobody is there. I go into skate land, it's empty. I'm telling you, I have all these dreams to this very day. So I am so connected to this whole thing. When it started breaking out on the internet, these liminal spaces, these backroom videos, I lost all ambition, and all these songs. It's literally the perfect soundtrack to what that is. Anyway, my point is I have such a personal stake in this movie. I want it to be so good because to me the backrooms are real. As stupid as that sounds, they're real to me. I live them every night I go to sleep. So I'm very excited for this movie, but I'm also kind of nervous about it, man. Like it's not fake to me. So anyway, that was really long-winded, but I don't know, maybe
No.
somebody can relate to that. Maybe they have a similar experience, but to me, I dream when I go to bed, my life is the back rooms, except it's my childhood, you know.
Yeah, here's the thing. I didn't know what this movie was, and I even after watching the trailer in the theater last night, I still don't really know. So when you were just describing what you were, it helped me understand more of what this is because I was confused. And I do think that that is obviously what they're trying to get at with the marketing anyway. Like it's meant to make you ask questions and wonder. But I mean, for me, like I there's something to be said for what you're talking about because as you were talking about it, I got this like melancholy feeling because I was thinking about that stuff and I was like, yeah, a lot of what you just said is true. It does feel like a lot of that never happened. It ironically it feels so far, yet it wasn't that far. Um and at the same time, I can remember it like it was yesterday, but I can't. And it's really weird. It's like I have these vivid memories of my childhood and these things that were really integral to who I am as a person and these experiences and these places and these people. And it just it doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like what I'm saying is true. Like nothing is how I remember it. And it's really, really hard to kind of even try to wrap your head around that. But if you know what I'm talking about, you just like you just know what I'm saying. And you're like, yes, like I get that because it, I don't know, man. That's like that'll just take us on a existential track. But for real, I mean, it's really, really scary to think about because like you see, I know you're talking even the Instagram reels you see with the just the ambient noise, you know, the or the songs. That one, what is that one that's like
Um,
it sounds like a bird or like an owl. And or you hear like the kids' voices, you
Yeah,
know.
like One Heart. They're like it's a musical act. I think it's a guy, but he's made all those like these nostalgia memories, these songs that somehow capture the sound of a time in the past.
Yeah, and it's like those Instagram reels fuck with me more than anything, and they will literally like depress me. They will like
They'll get
send
in
me
your
into a depression. Yeah, they will because and it's always got the most fucked up captions. Like you never realized that this was the last time you know get off the
they
school bus before for
yeah.
winter break or this was the last time you would have a Christmas party and like all this kind of shit and it just makes you go like fuck like and it just hits you like a ton of bricks and then you start to remember those things and you feel like you can remember them so vividly but can you really? There's no photos. It feels like a century ago, a lifetime ago, a lifetime that you remember so well, yet you don't at the same time.
It
And
trips me out, dude.
if you're telling me that's like the crux of what this movie is, bro,
Well,
what the
it's
fuck?
it's it's what it is for me. And when it comes to the movie, I've already heard people say, "Oh, dude, if it's just one of those movies where it's like they go back there and there's nothing there, and it's just like the whole movie is just a big cock tease." Well, fuck, I've heard that. And my thing is this: I don't need anything to be back there, but I need there for there to be the potential of something back there. That's what I need.
Yeah.
And I think clearly the trailer portrayed that.
Yeah.
Like, where's the exit of where's the entrance to the back? Where's the exit to the back rooms? Is there an exit? Is it essentially space? You know, it's just like, I can't wait
Wi-
for this movie. And what's
Is the
great is they actually use a song, they license music like down, down, down. Like you when you watch the trailer, that song that plays is something that has been associated with the backrooms throughout TikTok, which I think is brilliant on A24's behalf to get that song. So I literally have not been this excited for a movie in a long time. Like I'm serious. Like I fucking can't wait for the backrooms. More than anything, I can't wait for this movie.
Now, do you think we'll get an answer with this movie of whether or not the back door is an entry or an exit?
Yeah, I do actually. I do. I think they're actually going to go for it on this. I think they're cuz there's no answer to any of this stuff. So anything that they create is going to be new. It's not like we have a book to go off of. You know, Peter Jackson had books to go off of with The Hobbits and Lord of the Rings and cartoons from the 70s, like Bilbo Baggins. Like, there's no blueprint for any of this.
Yeah.
So, what a responsibility the director has and the writers have on this, you know, to
Man,
satisfy people's ideas. You know, maybe I could be disappointed because what I described to you may not be at all what the back room is going to represent. You know, but that's okay. I'll find out. I just know that I've never been this excited for a movie before, and I'm starting to really like watching movies where the cast is like middle aged because we're not that far off. You know,
mhm.
so to see, I forget the actor's name that stars in this movie, the black guy that runs the
Oh,
furniture store.
it's a
I've seen
unique
him
name like
before, but
Chidowell, Unifor.
but you know, hey,
It's something like
my,
that.
my
Yeah.
thing is, God bless that. Like, yes, I love that. And, you know, we just saw
Mhm.
a movie with beautiful 20-something-year-old kids in this movie. You know, now I'm ready to see this movie
Yeah.
with back rooms. So
Yeah. It
I think everybody's looking forward to the back rooms.
I think that that movie is going to be a
Sydney's going to
l
go to the theater to see that. Like, that's
I
how
think
big it is.
it's gonna be a big movie, and, I think that Obsession is gonna I think they're saying, like, it's tracking to do, like, 15 to 20 million this week.
My theater was pretty packed,
I was
if
about to
that's any
say,
indication.
I think they're lowballing it. I think it's gonna be on the higher end. I mean, overall there's a lot, and if you spend a lot of time online, you see a lot of the negativity. You can't escape it. It gets really really exhausting sometimes. But I think it's fair to say, like horror and horror adjacent films, they're in a really good place right now. Like it's a very good place right now.
Dude, listen to me. I'm going to agree with you, and I'm not trying to shit on Jason Blum. It's over. His house of cards has finally fallen down.
You could be wrong. You could be wrong in this way.
I'm
Because
not wrong. I'm gonna
I
tell you
hear
why I'm not
no,
wrong. Can I tell
I
you why I'm not wrong really quick? And then you can rebut.
yeah.
In the theater, I'm telling you, dude, his chapter is done. He's got to pivot to survive. In the theater, we're watching these trailers for these epic films with Brendan Fraser about this war movie, which looks phenomenal. We see this gorgeous trailer for Masters Universe. We see the trailer for the back rooms. Then we see the trailer for another Insidious movie. And it looks like the same shit, jump scares, over and over again. And everybody in my theater were chuckling at it. His house of cards is falling at the seams. His chapter's done. We're in a new era of horror. You have to be original. You have to look different. You have to be unique. He has pumped out those same looking movies over and over and over and over again. He's done, buddy. His chapter is over. Jason Blum is scared. He's running right now. He's freaking out because he's losing, because the people that own these movies, like Daniel Pearl, who has a stake in Texas Chainsaw, they're running from Jason Blum because he's going to turn everything into a TikTok reel. He is crumbling right now. His chapter is done. That's what I think about it. God bless Lynn Shay, and I'll go see it for her. But people were choking at my theater, because it was a bad trailer. It was a bad trailer where they threw every jump scare in there. It was a bad trailer.
I don't disagree. I'm not looking forward to that movie at all. But what I'm saying is, you and I have talked about this over the years, and this is why I think you're right, but also wrong. You're right in that era for Blumhouse, that it just doesn't work anymore. That's done. And I think he
Everything looks the
realizes
same. The
that.
glossy looking films,
But
jump scares, shitty trailers.
He is a genius with this stuff. He didn't get to where he was by being stupid. I'm telling you right now, Blum knows exactly what you're saying, which is why he got in on Obsession.
And that's why I said he needs to pivot.
That's what he's going to do. So Blumhouse is going to resurrect, because it's going to put movies like Obsession and filmmakers like Curry Barker more front and center and let them do their thing. Gone are the days of the Blumhouse IP where it looks like Blumhouse, it sounds like Blumhouse. That's gone. But Blumhouse is going to continue to thrive in the long term, because Blum's going to pivot to what is working, because he's smart.
But here's the thing. And in the case of this movie, the way I understand it is Jason had nothing. This was his Paranormal Activity. He literally just got in at the ground floor.
Yeah.
So we'll see. My point is, we'll see. I think you're probably going to be right, because he has enough money to pivot and take some chances. But I'm serious. His days of pumping out all these, look, dude, at the end of the day, he was in charge of The Exorcist. And
I knew you were gonna bring up The Exorcist, and that's
fumbled.
But he did 100%, but he then pivoted to make the smartest decision that he could have with The Exorcist.
It's not, but here's the thing. It's not a smart decision, because if it was smart, he would have hired him in the first place. He fumbled because he thought these idiots will buy anything I do 3 times in a row. And he learned the hard way that Exorcist fans aren't stupid like Halloween fans.
You are making my argument for me. And by the way, we're not all stupid.
I was just saying you'd react to that.
I know.
But my point is, he thought he could get away with it again.
But you're making my point for me, because he made the mistake. The house of cards there fell, and he pivoted. Yes, he made the mistake first, but just ask yourself this question, and you can't even lie about this. Do you think that Mike Flanagan's Exorcist film is going to look or feel like Believer in any way whatsoever? No. Flanagan is a director that has a style. That's going to be his movie.
But here's the one thing. Flanagan stuff definitely has a very high production value. It's not going to look like Curry stuff or other
that hasn't made it any less effective. That hasn't made it any less effective.
But my point is, I'm not saying that Flanagan stuff is gonna look like Blumhouse stuff, but the way he makes movies are still that very high. Like Blumhouse stuff always has a very high production value look. They're cheap films, like Jamie Lee said, which pissed off more people as Blumhouse is cheap, which she's just probably being honest, but his
Yeah.
movies do look expensive. I will say that. But my thing is this, it's like, it's not smart to bring in Flanagan when
I didn't
the
say it was
first guy
smart.
flopped.
I did, and if I did, that's not what I meant. I'm saying that it's making the best out of a bad situation. Yes, you created that situation, but how many other companies or CEOs would light that match and then burn the entire house down and have nothing left to show for it? Blum, sure, he's in a mess of his own making, but he's going to get out of that mess because he knows what he's doing at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And
You
a
know
lot of
he wanted Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know
100%.
he was just
Mhm.
gnawing, and Daniel Pearl said, "Hell no. I'm not letting you do the Texas Chainsaw what you did with Halloween. We're not going in that direction, buddy." Whether you I guarantee you he said that. I guarantee you.
Yeah. And that's the right decision, but because I think that dude, I think the turning point is going to be Obsession. I really do. And maybe that means that Blumhouse isn't as hands-on anymore. Maybe they're just more of a money man, essentially. Maybe that's honestly good for Blum to realize you gotta reel it in and let filmmakers be filmmakers, let writers be writers, write the checks.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe, and I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, that's what's best for him, because there are other production houses that have done this over the years, and
Look at
it's worked.
Spyglass, dude. They're public
Look
enemy
at
number 1
Paramount.
right now.
Look at
Yeah.
Paramount in the 80s with Friday the 13th. Sure, the MPAA butchered a ton of those movies, but Paramount just gave money and
Well,
gave money.
they gave the money to Mancuso Jr., and he just didn't know what the fuck was good or bad anyway. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they were turning those things out, and who was really going to say fix this or fix that? But I get your
I'm
point.
saying,
I get
but
your point.
at the end of the day, it is in and of itself a form of empowerment for those filmmakers, for those creative teams to be like,
opportunities.
here, go do it. And Blumhouse, the biggest mistake that Jason Blum ever made was feeling like he had to have his fingers in the whole pie. You
I agree.
don't, bro.
I agree.
Like, you're the money guy. I'm not trying to seem like in any way dismissive to Jason Blum as a CEO, but like, you are the money guy.
I don't think people look at
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse coming out of the Halloween franchise weren't really looked at. I don't think they were looked at in the biggest light by people.
No.
But Exorcist really tanked them.
Yeah.
And listen, the problem with The Exorcist is that it's just an okay film. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Exorcist fans are not like Halloween fans. I'll tell you this, I'm okay with having another Halloween film if it's barely okay. What the hell? I don't want another Exorcist film if it's not going to be fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. Like, I really
agree.
do. I think Exorcist fans, they don't want a decent Exorcist film. They want a great one. Because what happens when they flop? Well, they hurry up and they got to course correct and do Exorcist whatever and redo a remake again because they were like, fuck, we have to right this wrong. You know?
Yeah.
But
no,
I'm excited to see it, and I think Scarlett's going to be great in it, and I'm a huge fan of hers anyway. I've always been since she did Lost in Translation, so she's a great actress. So
yeah, well, what I'm really looking forward to, buddy, is the Batman Part 2, because that's finally in production, and buddy,
it'll come out in 4 years.
And Scarlett's in it. Scarlett got announced to be in it yesterday. I'm excited for that. But
dude,
Charles Dance is in it.
Oh, really? Charles Dance?
Yeah.
Good. I saw the trailer for Disclosure Day, which looks like some sort of alien movie.
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, Emily Blunt is smoking hot.
Yeah.
She's smoking hot.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I think it's going to be fairly tame, though, because it's Spielberg and he's in his older age. I don't think he's willing to take I don't think he's going to go in a dark route. I think it's going to be way happier than it appears from the trailer. That's my guess. if I'm being honest. I'm bracing myself for being disappointed by it. I'm being sincere by that. Like, I really
I
am I'm bracing myself by being disappointed for it because he's just gonna ET it and make it happy, I feel. Like, but I think he has a great way of, like, showing, like, the lizard people that run our country or something. Like, I think he has that opportunity, and I just don't think he's gonna do it. It's gonna be happy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I do think it looks cool, and I will check it out. And um, but yeah, I mean, to put a bow on that conversation, please do, because I know some people are gonna like misinterpret certain things. Jason Blum stepped in shit, and it's shit that he caused. He literally took a dump, stepped in it, and was like, "Oh, I stepped in shit," and now he's cleaning off his shoe. I just think that he's going to be able to clean off his shoe because he's business savvy enough. And again, he shouldn't have to be in this situation. And it's a situation of his own creation. But Blumhouse has become such an entity that, like, I know there's a lot of people that really are like, man, this is going to be, this needs to be the end of Blumhouse. I just don't want people to get their hopes up because I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're just going to see them shift more to, you're still going to see Blumhouse on all these titles. You're just going to see it more as like, yeah, we gave them the money and the distribution and the marketing, but we kind of let them do their own thing. I mean,
We're entering a
Obsession.
different era, dude. Like, it's a new time.
Obsession needs to be that movie. Obsession needs to be that movie for Blum if he knows what he's doing at all, to where he goes, I need to let people like Curry Barker do their thing. Like, I have to let him.
Do you think this Insidious movie is gonna tank? I think
No,
it's gonna way underperform. I really do.
it very well might underperform. I don't think it's going to tank just because it's such a built-in brand
Well,
that,
nobody
like,
liked the last one. Like, the last one, people were
no,
just like,
but
This ain't good."
it made like almost 200 million bucks, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, that's true, but
it's still going to make money, but at the end of the day, what's it going to be? It's going to be like the last few Insidious movies have been. It's
I
going
finally
to
watched that, by the way. I thought it was just, like, so pedestrian and just played out
the
and
fifth
not
one.
good. Yeah, the one that the Patrick
Oh
guy
yeah.
directed.
Yeah, it's not even a horror movie. It I didn't like it.
Which Lin Shaye always was the franchise, in my opinion.
Yeah,
The
I
the
didn't like it.
the Last Key was like, to me, The Last Key was miles better than The Red Door.
100%. I don't understand why you sold everybody on bringing the family back, and then
Nobody was
you
ever
get
interested in that.
you get
The first movie gets good when she shows up.
okay, but my thing is, like, you get 2 scenes with Rose Byrne, 2 scenes with the mom.
Yeah.
The kid is off at college doing fuck all. Like, I mean, it it was not even the return that they were billing it to be. Everybody was,
That's Blumhouse for you. They bullshit you. They bullshit you.
well,
They're the dude,
I'll
they
give
make the
them,
worst trailers of all time.
I will give them credit for one thing. Wrong decision. Would have never done it in the first place. But they brought back fucking Ellen Burstyn, buddy, and they just went, we're going to stab your eyes out.
Dude,
Like,
that is the biggest. And then it's like, I'm all for women empowerment and being badasses. This is a new time. Women are smart. They're in leadership positions. Of course, God bless you. But for her to have a line saying, "They wouldn't let me in the room. It must be the patriarchy." Those fucking priests got murdered trying to save your kid. What a stupid thing to say. It's dumb dialogue. If anything, it's a bad look. It's just horrible dialogue.
oh yeah,
Horrible.
they didn't.
Horrible. It's
They,
it's blatantly stupid to say that.
it's a misunderstanding of the character of Chris McNeil. Just, I mean, like,
They died trying to save your fucking kid, you
yeah,
idiot.
that was the thing, is like, and
You know what I
that's,
would have said, Nick? All right, bitch, you're going in this time. Well, guess what? You got killed by a parrot.
here's my thing. It's really not that
Dude,
crazy, though, dude.
it's not a good movie.
In Halloween 2018, what did they
Halloween
show me?
2018 is way better than Exorcist Believer, by the way.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying, what did they show me with that movie, though? They didn't understand the character of Laurie Strode. Like, I mean,
No.
frankly, that was not Laurie Strode. I don't know who the fuck that was. Like, that
No.
was Sarah Connor. And, like, so again, Blum, they love to bring these legacy characters back, but they just don't understand them. Like it's just
It's a flex. He does it because he says he can do it.
Yeah, and he can.
He's bragged about saying, "Get me in a room with this person, I'll convince him."
Well, Ellen Burstyn talked about how she said no, they doubled the money, and she said okay, and that was a flex for Blum because it's like,
yeah,
I can just throw that money at her.
Yeah, big fucking deal. Like Eric Bischoff beat WWF in the 90s because he had Ted Turner's billions of dollars to pay all these wrestlers millions and millions and millions for contract. Yeah, but it's like anybody could have done that. No offense. It's just stupid. It's like, listen, I don't dislike Jason, but the fact is, he got too big for his britches and he had a house of cards. I hate to say it. I just believe he had a house of cards. It's falling. And do I think he can pivot? I do. I do think he can pivot. I think he's smart for getting Obsession and putting it in his catalog. But this is a new era, dude.
But make no mistake, Obsession is not a Blumhouse film.
Right, right. That's the thing. I was like, it's so evident when you see their trailer thing in the beginning.
They didn't show the Insidious trailer before my showing.
Oh, they did mine, and it was a bad trailer, dude.
I watched it when it came out online a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this kind of looks like shit.
It's the same thing over and over again. The trailer starts out quiet, then it gets loud as fuck. Jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, silence.
Yeah.
Title card.
Yeah.
It's by the way, same thing.
I want to ask you before we get to the questions from some of the viewers. One, did I believe her name is Inde? I believe she is like of Native American descent. I don't know, but the actress from Obsession. Did she give you vibes from Mia Goth in Pearl with a lot of her facial acting? Because obviously she did for me. There was these smiling and frowning scenes, and I was like, this is reminding me of Pearl. And two,
maybe I'd have to go back and watch those movies again, but I don't think that's a far stretch.
Two, was there shit on the floor on the carpet too?
Yeah, it looked like diarrhea shit.
That's what I thought. I knew there was a bunch of piss, but I was like, they showed something chunky, and I was like,
well, it looks like she threw up too.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is that puke or is that shit? Like, because I'm gonna be real with you, buddy.
That stuff was nasty.
If you're my girlfriend and I come home and you shit all over yourself, I'm never gonna look at you the same way again.
And you know what's so funny? It's like right after that scene, she's got like on like a sexy little cheetah print.
You were just covered in piss and shit.
Yeah. Ugh.
Dude. No, I'm sorry. Look, I'm still of the mind, and nobody can convince me otherwise, that girls do not shit. So like,
oh, they do, buddy.
They don't. They don't until it's proven to me they don't. So if I come home and you're standing in your piss and shit and there's vomit all over your face, we're done. We're done. Clean yourself up.
Dude, women shit more than dudes.
No, they don't. You're not dating women then. I don't know what to tell you.
I promise you.
But like that, it's stuff like that in the movie. By the way, I also loved the moment where she took the fucking cat out and she's like, it's supposed to be a memorial.
Yeah, it was like, I actually, those, I like that scene, but I almost think, I don't know.
Was it a little too funny?
If I thought it was a little too much for me. Like this movie was a very, very, very dark shade of gray. And then there were tiny, tiny hints of lighter shades of gray. And my thing is, I like a continuity with that. And I felt it could be just the way I interpreted it, but I think I could have done that scene differently. Or like, I don't know how else I would have done it at this moment, but something less over the top.
Take that. Use that for Uncle Jerry 3. Use that like, but like, no, it isn't this crazy. I do want to say too.
I'm still in pre-production on that.
I know we're gonna get there. We need to shoot it at 50.
You know, it's Uncle Jerry. It's I got working titles: Uncle Jerry 3 Resolution. No, Revelations. Or Uncle Jerry 3. Uncle Jerry 3 Resurrection.
Yeah. No,
in space.
But there you go. So like, I was thinking about this the other day, and this isn't crazy to think about anymore, dude. You're about to crack 50,000 subs. Like, you should probably think about this too. A couple years from now, you might get offered to like direct a horror film, because we're seeing YouTubers doing this and making a lot of money doing it. I'm gonna be real with you. I never saw Shelby Oaks. I heard
I
at
saw
best
it.
mixed. I
I
heard
saw
at
it.
best mixed things, but it made money. Like Markiplier's movie, Iron Lung,
I
made a
wanna see
shitload of
that.
money.
I wanna see that. I heard that's a horror movie, right?
Yeah, based off a
Yeah,
video game.
I wanna see that. I heard that movie just being I saw Shelby Oaks, I liked it. I think it was at times fairly stock, but it had good moments. Um, but I heard the Markiplier movie was legitimate. You
Yeah, I heard
know,
it was
not
good
trying to
too.
discredit, not trying to I always I always kinda got bummed out that Chris Stuckman decided to become an NPC and stop reviewing movies that he didn't like
Yeah.
because he said he was becoming a filmmaker. I don't think I think that's actually more of a hindrance to him than a benefit. I really
Oh,
do.
one yeah, 100%. I feel like
Because it's
and
saying to me, "Hey, I'm not gonna discredit movies I don't like, so I don't
yeah.
want that back in return."
And no
No, dude.
shade to Chris. He's far more successful than Christian and I. I mean, so it's not
I've got
nobody
some investments.
if you wanna clip that, that's fine. He doesn't even know who we are. But so he's
I've
done
watched him for a long time, dude. I was genuinely
so did
upset
I.
when he said
So
that.
that's what I'm saying. So did I. That's what I was working up to, was to say I stopped watching him. Like, I stopped watching him entirely. I was happy
Because
when I
if he
heard
does a
about Shelby
review on
Oaks.
it, you know he liked it.
Yeah, I was happy when he announced Shelby Oaks. I was like, good for him, man. He's really done some really good shit for his career, and I'm happy for him. But I can't watch his shit anymore because I don't want a corporate. It just seems like this cookie cutter image now. It's I'm sorry, like, say what you will, say what you want to. I've we've talked about this. I've watched Cody Leach for years, and that's probably the thing I respect the most about Cody is years and years into this business, and now this being his career, and he will still speak his mind to the point where I don't know if we talked about this. Alex Vincent reached out to him when he was shitting on the Chucky TV series and basically was like, what the fuck, man? And Jennifer Tilly was sneak dissing Cody Leach without mentioning his name about his reviews of the series. But Cody didn't care. Cody was like, I don't like it. I'm going to say I don't like it. If you don't like that, I'm saying that. And obviously they don't like it because he has a big platform. Oh, you're going to color people's opinions before they even watch it. Okay, well, guess
You want to
what?
know
They come
something
to me
too?
to know my opinion.
I think that because let's just spell it out. I'm gonna spell it out for you because I know what you're trying to say. Cody will talk about just what he doesn't like about it, and so Tilly, Vincent, they'll click on the videos, and then they'll go to the comment sections, and then they'll read, "F this show, it's gone woke, go
Mm-hmm.
broke, F this." They see that. They're not watching Cody's videos. They click on the video, they don't hear Cody say this or this. They read the comments, which is going to be the worst of the worst, kind of the
Mm-hmm.
real darkest of opinions of the show. And quite frankly, some of them that probably didn't even watch the show themselves.
Yeah.
And then they see that, they indict that onto him, and then that's where the shit comes through. I'll be honest with you, dude. I liked season. I thought I was gonna hate that TV show. Season 2 was boring as shit. Season 1 and 3, I actually liked it, and I was vehemently against the idea.
I
I
know.
wasn't exactly.
I tried
I
to get
was.
him to watch season 1 for years, guys.
You did,
Yeah.
and I wasn't exactly distraught when they canceled it. I was like, well, season 3 was pretty much like schizophrenia in like 10 episodes, so I was fine with that. But that's what I really think that's what it boils down to, is they indict the comment section onto him, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I'm sure that plays a role, but I also do think that Cody rubs people the wrong way sometimes because he genuinely does have the mindset of, I don't care if it hurts your feelings. Like, if I don't like it, I don't like it. And also, he uses colorful language when he doesn't like stuff, and I appreciate that. It's not like it wasn't really my thing. No, he will lambaste it. Like, this is dog shit. This is terrible. And there's something to be said for that. You can give a review that seems like you're kind of trying to play both sides of the field. He doesn't do that. And so I think that's why he's rubbed people the wrong way before, but obviously not too many people because he's fucking huge and he's done a lot for himself and his career. And again, we've talked about this before. if you think you know Cody because of his YouTube videos, you really don't. Like he's actually a really genuinely good dude. But all of that was to say, I don't fuck with what Stuckman became. You know, the sub count and the money and the opportunities, I think changed him. There's something to be said for, I don't care how big my channel gets. I don't care how much money I'm making. I'm still going to be me. And if that turns me away from some opportunities because, you know, people don't like that, so be it. Whatever. I don't really care. Like, I can guarantee you Cody Leach was not getting offered a role in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3 like 3C Films was, because Cody Leach very publicly got into a spat with the directors after the first one.
Because I know Chris, did he actually get a opportunity?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, that's funny.
Yeah, he got a role in it, and again, Cody could have had an opportunity like that for himself if he would have sold a soul. And I'm not saying Chris did. I don't know his opinion on the movies, but I'm just saying Cody very publicly had a spat with the filmmakers of the first movie.
He said something like, this is legitimately bad for horror.
Yeah.
Which I disagree with that. I actually think the sequels are bad because they put money into them and they started taking them more seriously. I thought the first one was fucking hysterical because they literally shoved these guys in a styrofoam mascot outfits with no facial expression changes and wobbled, and it was ridiculous and silly. And I love the first one. The sequels what pissed me off because now the freaking bird thing from Winnie the Pooh has wings and it's flapping and it's talking. That's where I was like, no, I draw the line here. I hated the sequels.
Yeah. I didn't see any of them, but all of that again is just to say, like, I hope that the opportunities that come your way as you get bigger and YouTube don't change you. And I
mean, I'll sell out for money. I'll tell you that, dude. This economy is shit. I need to feed my family. So I will take the money. I don't care. Look at me. I don't give a fuck. I will take the money. I'm taking it.
Here's the thing.
Did you not see that? Listen, did you not see that interview with Bam Margera where he goes, right guard offered me $1 million to say, to do a commercial. And people were like, what the fuck? You're Bam Margera. And he goes, if you get an opportunity, they're not always going to be around. Feed your fucking families. Take the money. I'm taking the money. I'm selling out. If these motherfuckers want to pay me, I'm taking it. I'm taking that money, dude. I'm trying to build generational wealth.
Here's the thing, guys. I do think in some regard Christian might not be lying, but
it's Miller time. Like
I think at the end of the day,
Tom Atkins said.
I think at the end of the day, especially after what his thoughts on Stuckman, I don't think he actually.
Well, dude, I don't think Stuckman, in my opinion,
I don't think he would.
Well, my thing is this: I don't think he realized by saying I'm becoming a filmmaker, I'm not going to criticize films I don't like. What the audience took that as is, all right, guys, I'm about to make a movie. I'm not going to diss movies that I don't like
because I don't want you to be.
I don't want that in return. That's what the audience. I don't think he realized that's what we perceive that as. That's what the audience perceived that as.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I thought Shelby Oaks was okay. I think people were honestly. I do think there was a lot of people that were way harder on it than they should have been. If I'm being honest, because of that,
probably
they were ready.
Agendas.
They were ready for that movie to come out.
But again, to everybody that felt that way, Chris Stuckman's doing better than all of us. So, like,
well, he's an OG, dude. It's like
exactly. I was watching Stuckman way back in the day. I know you were too. Like, it's so again. I don't know the guy personally. Used to be a big fan, but yes, that moment definitely changed my perception of him too. Because whether he meant it or not, that's how we took it. And look, I'm going to be real with you. If my short film would have come out, Christian, and it would have been dog shit, I want people to tell me that it's dog shit. I don't want to make a short film with amateur level everything and then have a bunch of people lie to me and tell me that it's good, because you know they're lying. Okay.
People lie to me, dude.
If we watch enough movies, we know when it's like, I want, why would you not want honest, like, constructive criticism? It's only going to make you better as a creator of anything. And so to try to like pre-insulate yourself from that is kind of weird, because it's like, no, dude, if it's bad, tell me it's bad. I want to get better. Like, you know, I don't know, but that's enough of that. So Christian, Obsession. Out of 5 stars, what are you giving it? I'm just going to spoil it for you right now. I'm giving it 5. And before you laugh, I actually haven't given 5 to anything in a while. I've actually tried to, like, you know what? I'm not going to be that hyperbolic. Like, I'm not going to, like, if I walk away from a movie and I say, I can't think of something to complain about. And furthermore, I can say the movie, I related to it. It impacted me. It creeped me out. I thought it was just on a technical level, a fantastic film in every technical regard. It's a 5. I don't know what else to say. I genuinely did not have one complaint. Not one. Not one that I can think of enough to be like, you know what? This really dragged it down for me. No.
Mhm.
And I know you don't like to give out 5s. I know you don't, but you gave Leprechaun 4 5. So like
Yeah, I gave it a 6. I
let's
added a star.
let's be real. I mean, again, bringing up Cody Leach again. I watched his review earlier. He doesn't give anything 5s. He gave it a 5. And he prefaced it by saying, "You guys know I don't do this. Like I try to be guarded and level-headed and point out things I didn't like, but there's just nothing. There's nothing I can think of."
Mhm. I'm not far off from you. I'm not going by a letterbox scale, so I'm gonna say 4 and 3 quarters. And Imma tell you why. Imma tell you why. Phenomenal movie. Unique, individualistic, loved it. I mean this not trying to be contrarian. I mean this not trying to just be against you. I mean this as true as anything. Holcomb is the best movie I've seen this year. Imma tell you why. I've been a fan of Damien McCarthy ever since I saw Oddity. This movie made me want to watch a subgenre of film that I've never had an interest in. Obsession didn't do that. This movie made me say, I am entering a world of folk horror that I've never wanted to pay attention to. And I'll tell you why. Holcomb genuinely, genuinely did better scenes the way Obsession did. You discussed moments of, for a split second, all of a sudden you see a face appear. If you want to see that done even more effectively and genuinely scary, Holcomb did it. Holcomb was creepier than Weapons could have ever dreamt to have been. Holcomb was brilliant. Holcomb was a movie that had characters that are flawed but real. And Adam Scott, who's a guy that I never gave two shits about. I watched him in Parks and Rec. I seen him in Step Brothers. I've seen him in all these things.
Hellraiser, baby.
This guy was brilliant. Holcomb was terrifyingly good. Scarier. People asked me if I liked it when I reviewed it. They said, "Christian, did you like Holcomb Webber?" I said, Holcomb Weapons, to me, as great as Weapons is, Holcomb was that much better. I genuinely mean it.
Weapons
Ho
or Obsession?
Weapons, because I
Okay.
hadn't seen Obsession yet. Because I
Okay.
told people, "This is the Weapons of 2026, but better." Damien McCarthy is not gonna surpass this film. I'm telling you, he will never beat Holcomb. This is his Black Album. He's never gonna have something bigger than this. I genuinely hope you go see it in theaters and you don't let me try to over promote it to you. But I'm telling you, I wasn't even going to see this film. My boss called me Tuesday. He said, "Hey, we got problems at work. Just take the night off. You can come in if you want, but we're not going to be running." I said, "You know what? I'm going to go see this movie, Holcomb. It's folk horror. I liked Oddity." I texted my wife in the theater. "You know what? I'm gonna prove it to you. I want you and the audience to see something. I never do this. I want you to see something. You're gonna be blown away by this. Hold on. Okay. Make sure I'm not showing anything messy. This was Tuesday night. I know you can't really see it.
What does it
I want to
say?
make sure it says, "Oh my God, this movie is fucking scary." That's what it says by me right there. And then Sydney says, "The images I saw look cool." I never text my wife about movies. I never do. Hokum freaked me out so much that I actually text my wife that. And she said that movie looked good because she loves all kinds of whimsical kind of those, like we watched The Green Knight a few nights ago. I have no idea if you saw that. It's a dark fantasy film. I loved it. And I said, I want to watch something else that has to do with lore and creepy stuff and stuff that's whimsical. And she goes, well, why don't you go see that movie Hokum? It's a folk horror film. It's the guy that did that Oddity movie that you liked. Nick, I'm telling you, I loved Obsession. Hokum was a 5-star film. 5-star film. I really hope you go see it because I know you're gonna love it. You just may not love whether you love it more than Obsession. I don't know, but if you go into Hokum and you just let go, dude, I'm telling you, this movie was fucking scary.
I will see it, but I will say to the viewers, guys, Christian knows he could just do like 1A and 1B. Like they're both 5s. I just slightly prefer 1, but he's weird about that. He doesn't want to do that. So he's like, no, 1 is a 5 and the other one is 4.75.
I understand that, but my thing is this. I go back to what I said earlier. Obsession is a phenomenal horror film. Phenomenal. Hokum did to me what Halloween did to me. It made me aware of the horror genre in a sense and made me want to watch horror films. Hokum made me want to look into folk horror movies because I said, oh my God, this is what this is. This isn't just people running in the woods thinking they heard something and then there's nothing. Like some movie, I have seen some. Hokum was terrifying. I mean, I had not been this freaked out in a movie in a long time. I really hope you go see it. It's a 5-star film to me.
This is crazy. So it's showing at my theater tomorrow. Only one showing at 11 p.m.
Go see it.
Well, there's another theater that's about 20 minutes away. It's showing at 8:45 and I'm off work at 8.
Let me tell you something. I'm not spoiling anything.
Take my kid to go see it?
No. Oh God, no. Listen, it's so earlier when you're saying, dude, I thought it was brilliant the way you start to see a look of a face. I'm just chewing, like gnawing at the bit to be like, dude, if you thought that was good, you should see what McCarthy did in Hokum. There are moments where you have to sit there and you know something is in the distance and you know it's going to come. And it's a moment where the character can't I can't say anything else. I'd be doing you such a disservice. Dude, Hokum is a 5-star horror film. You're right. I don't like doing 5 stars, dude. I want to give Hokum 6 stars. That's how good I think it is. So I texted my wife, this movie is fucking great. I never have done that in my life.
So Christian says that, you see something in the distance and it's about
to bust.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dude, here's the thing. I know you're gonna love it, and you're gonna say, "All right, dude, I'm gonna keep my eye on this guy." But this thing, I think Hokum is so good, he's not gonna top it. All right, and Adam Scott was the only guy that could have done this role. When you see the character he plays, his physical attributes work perfectly with this character. I can't wait for you to watch it.
Hey,
I honestly think you're going to say, I genuinely think you're going to say, you know what, Christian, I don't want to agree with you, but I can't deny the film.
I don't think I've ever done that. I do think I
have a tendency to work things up, though. I have a tendency to work things up that I'm passionate about.
But I will. So am I, guilty of that. But you've never said this, but I do believe there have been times where you've probably thought to yourself, I can't agree with him here. I have to find something like we can't be in lockstep. Me, I don't give a shit about that. If we agree entirely, great. Like
there are times where I've thought that, not in the instance, but over time, I start to disagree. Yeah, Halloween ends. I still stand that watching the movies on an individual basis is fine, but watching them back to back
Oh,
is
dude.
headache splitting.
Yeah, no, but I don't disagree with that. I'm talking about when it comes to Halloween Ends, how we both had the same thoughts about it, but you were more muted in your rating of it, and I was like, "Fuck it, dude, just let your freak flag fly." Like, and you were like,
Well,
"Nah,
the
I
thing
don't."
about dude, there's something about Blumhouse stuff is a lot of their movies en masse, I feel like they typically age poorly.
That
Typically.
I agree with you, but I will say, and I watch it every October, of course, but it hasn't aged any poor for me. If anything, I just
Because
appreciate it
there's a visual
more.
style that's one of the only Blumhouse films off of memory that has a genuine visual style.
And it's just
Somehow
a
they remembered to do that this
and
time.
it's just a different Halloween experience. Like by the time you get to that in October when you're watching the movies, it's a nice palate cleanser. You're like, this is different. Like it's just like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. You get to H2 and you're like, fuck yes, this feels like a movie, like like a story. And I really did that. As much as I love the franchise, there are movies in the Halloween franchise where when I watch them, I'm like, I really love this movie, but it feels like lesser. Halloween 4. I will maintain that. I have so much love for that movie. But when I watch Halloween 4, I'm like, I'm watching a Halloween movie. Yep, like it's doing the Halloween movie stuff. But like Halloween 5, I don't feel that way. It gets weird. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, it gets weird. Halloween Ends, like those are really nice, and it's nice peppered throughout the franchise. So if you're watching all the movies, when you get to those ones, it's a nice break to be like, okay, we're doing something different. Like this
Yes.
is cool, man.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Well, man, are you there?
I'm back. I thought that was you that froze, not me. I have
Up,
my internet's on fire.
up. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Is it me then?
I think it's you actually. I'll just keep talking for the audience. Guys, I fucked up my mic. I shouldn't have tried to unscrew this. All right, let's see. Anyway. Are you back? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I intermittently. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm pretty sure this is you this time, actually. Dude, that Chromebook may be getting hot.
Yeah, sorry for those
Anyway.
technical difficulties. My internet took a shit for a minute. It's great to have pause, but all right. Let's get to the questions now that we had from the audience. And I'm gonna get to all of them. I proofread them, Christian, and none of them are like messed up, you know. So that's
Okay.
That's good.
Go ahead.
First one is from Zach. You know, Zach, Hobgoblins money, Zach. When's the next existential crisis episode? My answer for that is there's a little bit of that everywhere, but we're getting into our middle age, so it'll be every few months.
There's a little bit of that in every episode. The thing is, I can't plan an existential crisis episode. It doesn't work like that. It's like,
yeah,
I can't have a good day and then be like, oh yeah, we're recording the existential show tonight. No, it's got to be natural. So just stick with us. Some things you can't force, you know.
Movie
Anyway.
Misfits video. Looking back on the last 5 years, what is the thing you're most proud of with the show? And what's something new you guys want to try with it? For me, most proud of is either the interview with Daniel Farrens or finally getting to kind of go back into the time machine and sit down with we watched a movie just because I I'd watched them for so long, and to be able to talk to those guys, those are probably some of my more favorite experiences with it. Although overall, I'd say most proud, honestly, that we're still here and we still enjoy doing it, and that we've cultivated, a fan base and something new I want to try with it. I maybe not new, but I want to get back to interviewing some people in the industry. It's not for lack of trying. I mean, granted, I've been going after some whales, so maybe I need to stop going after whales. But yeah, that's my answer there.
I would agree. I think the number one thing for me is the continuity because so many people just quit. They don't get what they want fast enough because everybody wants this fast or they want an audience fast. And the reality is you start a podcast because you enjoy doing it, not because you want an audience. The audience comes from enjoying the show and hearing a good conversation. So I think the continuity is probably the thing I'm the most proud of over anything. There have been some great interviews. I think the most underrated one we've ever had is Gary,
Oh,
'cause,
yeah.
he was real, and there's things I wish I could ask him again because there's a moment in that interview where he says that Blumhouse wanted to fire, Chris Nelson, and then he moved on real quick, and then I wanted to ask him, like, why, but we never got to that because he was flowing,
Mm.
but that was an underrated interview. I think that's probably the best one we ever did, if I'm being honest, because he
Yeah.
was just so forthright, he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Um, and in terms of what was the second part of the question?
What's something new you want to try with the show? Mine wasn't
Uh
really something new. It was just maybe, getting some interviews.
I don't know if it's necessarily new, but one of the things, like, I like when I watch a lot of shows is they kinda have, like, a hot topic section where they pull up articles and read directly from them and react. That's something because I think we all do videos about that, but I think there's still a thirst to see a conversation that comes from that, so, like, maybe going forward, we could have moments where we pull up 3 or 4 articles from websites in regards to new news, and we can read them and react to them, and we kinda do that, but I just kind of I think that'd be a nice element. That way people can read along, they can see where the article's coming from, whether it's Dread Central or stuff like that. So that's something I'd like to add, just kinda like a hot topic section,
Yeah,
just to cover topical things, but
we could do that easily,
yeah.
honestly. I love my kids wants to know if you were to make a horror film, what would it be about and who would you have star in it? Just vaguely, generally, I'd probably want to do demonic possession like that because that's the stuff that's always scared me the most. And if I had my druthers, just because for an OG, I'd want Tom Atkins. For somebody working right now that I'm a huge fan of, Rowan Campbell, buddy. Give me Corey Cunningham.
By the way, I thought Silent Night, Deadly Night was pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Um, I actually have a movie in my head. I think it's a good movie too. It's called Ring, which obviously would be a huge license issue, but that's just the name I have for it now. The movie is pretty simple. The movie takes place all through Ring camera footage. It's found footage. And the movie is about a normal suburban family. And as the movie goes on, you just see this family conversating. Everything's fine. They're a happy family doing their thing. And then there'll be a notification on the screen that will say there's motion at your front door. The family doesn't pay much attention to it, but outside of the house, you see a van. The van slowly drives through the house. We cut a few days later. Kids are home from school. Dad's watching the game. We get another alert. Family's doing their thing. They're not looking at the phones. That white van comes back. This time it stops. And the van goes on. Things start to progress. The family starts to think they're seeing things. They check the cameras. They go to look back on something, but something's infiltrated their login. So old stuff is getting deleted. They're not able to go back and see what was happening. Eventually, the movie shows the break-in, and it's all through Ring camera footage. It's a very crude movie, kind of like hate crime.
I was gonna say hate crime.
But I'm not gonna go that route. I'm not gonna go into that. I'm not gonna go into like a race war thing or anything, but it's a movie about a break-in and how even with today's technology, if you're not focused and you're not paying attention, you're not observant, these things can still happen. So I actually think it's a great idea. I have talked to a director that I've become friends with, and he said, "I like the idea, and we'll keep it in our back pocket." So I actually have a director that I know that's
Okay.
made movies, actual movies that Scream Factory's put out. I won't say his name because I won't say it online, but like I have an actual director that I've brought this to.
Okay. Could you? The real question there is, would you allow me to have a bit part? Could I just could I be the guy delivering the newspaper on the bicycle in one of the frames? I just
We'll
want a
see.
bit part. I don't need any money. I don't need
We'll,
any, you know.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay. What is a beloved Svengoolie News Times? What is a
Okay.
beloved classic movie everyone adores, but you don't?
Rosemary's Baby.
Same. Fucking same. Same.
Rosemary's boring.
And I almost last night I was on Paramount Plus and I was like, what am I gonna watch? And I saw that Apartment 7A, and I was like, I watched
Crystal
the
Lake, October 15th, baby. Just by
yeah,
the way.
I watched
Hey, that's
I,
Peacock. Never mind.
well, I watched the preview for it and I was like, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not a big fan of Rosemary's Baby. I don't think I want to watch the prequel to it. So, yeah. Wow, we agree there. Okay. Jason O'Neill, we all rave about classics like Halloween, TCM, Night of the Living Dead, F-13, etc. These movies have endured for decades. Do you think that 30 or 40 years from now, people will have the same passion for the current day horror movies? Yes, because it's a generational thing. So my mom, Christian's parents, people of that age, they created what those movies became. They all went and saw them. They talked about them. They showed their kids those movies and passed it on. The same thing is going to happen. The younger generations that got introduced to Michael Myers through Halloween 2018, that got introduced to found footage from Paranormal Activity and movies like that. Yes, 30 years from now, I do think they'll have the same kind of legacy, just for a different generation.
Agreed. I think we're already seeing how movies are gone away from looking at it as like, oh, I'm so sick of that, to, yeah, man, Saw was a big deal when it came out. And like people are looking at certain stuff that came out 20 years ago, and they're looking at it back at it with a different look. They're not looking at it as, oh, I'm so burnt out on those. They're saying, yo, man, I mean, look at Scream. It's bigger than Halloween now, which is dumb, but anyway.
Yeah. Allie wants to know, she congratulates us on 5 years and wants to know, what is one thing you highly respect about the other one? And when did you realize that you guys had chemistry and this is something you wanted to continue to invest your time into? So something I respect about Christian is that even through like his channel getting bigger and bigger and seeing a lot of success and having partnerships with, obviously at Paramount, and, over the years, he's had opportunities come his way. I don't think he ever switched up who he was. I make jokes sometimes like, oh, he's big leaguing, like, but he's never actually really done that. He's just been the same dude. And so I appreciate the authenticity more than anything, really. I've only had to call him out one time, and it was, before we even started recording the podcast, when he was giving me shit on a stream like 5 years ago about how I kept asking to come on his channel. I don't know if you remember that. You're like, oh, that dude, Nick from the Lost River Drive, and he keeps bugging me about coming on my channel.
I think you were really gung ho at that time, because you were like, all right, I'm
I
gonna
had just
get back into YouTube. And it was like,
rebranded. Yeah.
it was fun and brand new to you.
Yeah.
And here I am, I was tired at that point.
But yeah, he's never switched up. And we talked about this earlier with, the people like Stuckman and stuff, and, not to throw shade, but it's just to say, like, sometimes the opportunities and the spaces you get into do change you. So it's nice when that doesn't happen. And then realizing we had chemistry, I mean, we knew that before we ever did a show together. That's the idea of all that goes to Christian. I mean, that was him. He came to me and was like, hey, I want you to be on this show with me. And I think that was because he knew, like, as different as we are in some ways, he loves zombie films. They've never been my thing. He's like, you talk about, I love physical media. His is on, it's another level. So we have different.
But I don't look at you as a physical media channel either. And you're
I'm
not.
yeah.
I look at you like, I wanted somebody, I get loud, but like I jog, you run. I'm like I'm less descriptive at certain things. You're much more descriptive. You explain stuff more detailed. I'm more ambiguous the way I describe everything. I was like, he's the opposite of me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I didn't want a physical media show, because that's boring. I wanted a show about movies. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, physical media they house movies anyway. So it all worked out.
Yeah.
It all worked out. I didn't have like a second person I thought of. I was like, he's right. He'd be the right guy.
I can't, and I don't know. I can't speak for Christian, but I really think the answer is like, what does he respect about me? I think it's that I've been an OG Halloween 3 fan. He got sick and tired of seeing people come around to it the last 15 years. And I think, he has the physical evidence to know that I've always been one. So I think he respects that. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say my real answer is the way you fought for your kid when your divorce stuff went down.
Yeah.
That said a lot to me. And you fought for your kid and you didn't stop. And I think that showed a lot of growth. And you went through a lot with that divorce. I mean, you were struggling for a while mentally, man, and
Yeah.
I tried to always be there for you, but there were like you were kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And I
A lot
get
of
it
people would
now.
be. Yeah. A lot of people would be.
You had a short fuse at the time and you were going through. I'm not going to get into anything. It's nothing bad, but there were moments where Nick it would be easy to upset him.
Yeah.
And I understand why now, but you're the person I remember before all that went down.
Yeah, sorry you and everybody else had to experience that, but I got through it. I got through it, and I think a large reason I did is the community and specifically this show too. Like it was just, yeah. So I appreciate you saying that.
And you
Sure.
are an OG Halloween 3 fan.
Yeah, we both have videos on our channel to prove
I don't
that.
like people that act. I like in 2026. Anybody that just does the dude Halloween 3 is actually good. I instantly shut off.
But yeah,
'Cause
Halloween 3
it's
is a
like
good movie. Yeah.
that was okay saying that in 2012. It's 2026. We are far beyond people like knowing that Halloween 3 is a good movie. Unless they're my age, like when I got into if it's an 18-year-old kid, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're like making your if you're wearing anyway.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. One of the things that I worry the most about showing my kids some of these movies as the years go on, and I really hope he doesn't dislike them. I'm terrified to show him some of the movies I love because if he's like, that sucked, I'm gonna be like, you're not my kid, bro. I don't know what to do. You don't like Halloween 3? Nah, dude. It's not. Sorry, we're getting a DNA test. So
That's right.
Germ the Worm Films. What's a film you wish you could see again for the first time? And it can't be a major title like Halloween, Friday, Nightmare. Not a major title that I wish I could see for the first time again. God, major titles doing a lot of heavy lifting there because I don't know exactly what the criteria are, but I'll just take out like the big horror franchises. Man, I honestly,
I got an answer.
I do too. X, and I know that trilogy is popular. It is not popular on the level like the major horror franchises that you talk about, and that movie, that shit. Like when I watched it in theaters, it's crazy to say about X. It moved me because the message was so poignant about like aging, and like I remember coming home. This was a month or two before we separated. And she wouldn't go see it with me. And I wanted to talk to her about it when I got home. And she'd seen the trailer and she's like, it looks like a porno. I'm not going to see that. And I came home and I was like, that movie, I loved it. Like I loved it. And she literally went, yeah, I'm sure you did. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, no, it was like, it had a really important like message. And like, so X. Yeah, X for sure.
Good answer. And mine's probably going to be a little cliche. Return of the Living Dead. I will never forget watching that movie. I had never seen a movie like that before with a soundtrack with bands I never would have heard of otherwise. I didn't even know what Enigma Records was.
Yeah.
Blew me away.
Yeah.
My favorite film.
And it's not a major one, so you played by the rules. Darkwing Dave wants to know, what was your gateway horror film, and what horror film would you show someone your love of horror for the first time experiencing? My gateway horror film was probably Child's Play, in the sense of like, I remember watching that as a kid. It never scared me. And honestly, my answer would be Child's Play, because that's the first horror film I showed my son. And you guys can judge my parenting all you want. He loved it. It didn't make him pick up a knife and want to kill people. He was not scared at all. So Child's Play for
God,
both.
it ruined me when I was a kid. That's crazy. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, if I'm being real. Like, I saw horror movies when I was a kid, like Fly 2 and Child's Play and Stephen King's It. But the movie where I consciously said, I want to watch horror movies, as cliche or as pathetic as it sounds, was when I was 18 years old. 17 years old, and I saw A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I'll never forget it. I watched the whole thing at 9:30 at night. It was 11:30 when the movie ended. I instantly watched it again. It was like a Monday night.
Don't you miss
October.
those days? I remember doing that as a teenager. I would never do that now. Watch a movie right after it ended.
I have
Like,
way too much to do.
yeah,
It's like you
but
couldn't imagine that. But yeah, dude. I used to watch the same movie like every night in high school. Like
yeah,
I'd watch fucking, you know, Euro Trip like 4 days in a row.
buddy, I used to watch Halloween in the month of October at least 6 or 7 times. Oh, six,
Yeah.
7. Like it, and now it's once, and it's on Halloween night. Like that's it. Nathan wants to know, when's the Jeepers Creepers 3 watch along? Christian, set the dollar amount for that.
Dollar amount for Jeepers Creep watch along is gonna be $450
There you go.
cash.
Once when one of you guys pays $450, we'll do it.
Cash. PayPal, friends and family, no super chats.
Yep.
It's gotta be PayPal, friends and family. So we can do an even split.
And you guys understand, again, Hobgoblins 2
I'll
is
give it
still
everything.
1,000.
I'll give it
Yeah.
everything for
So would I.
$450.
So would I. And
Jeepers Creepers
Hobgoblins
3.
2. Hobgoblins 2.
I'll be
1,000.
like, I'll give the greatest commentary for Jeepers Creepers 3. I'll do research. So right here off camera, we got Key Grip here. We got on date. Oh, this was day 3 of the production, and I'll get all into it.
All right, you heard it there.
By the way, Brandon is insane because he'll be like, "Yeah, Jeepers Creepers 3 is way better than people remember," and so I'm like, "No, it's not."
No, it's really bad.
Also, fuck Victor Salva.
Yeah.
CWR. I'm not saying that he likes him. I love Brandon. I'm not saying about it. He just tries to say Jeepers. No, dude, it's bad.
CWR Productions wants to know, best movie you've seen of 2026. We just answered that. Mine's
Hokum.
Obsession, and his is Hokum. Yeah.
Hokum.
Alex Gayton Hill wants to know, what's each of your favorite horror film that have come out since the podcast started? X.
That's a good question.
Yeah, mine's X. That's my favorite horror film of the 2020s.
The best horror film since the podcast started. Wow, I'm
So
trying to
21 to 26.
Let me I'm just gonna say, I don't want to overthink something.
He's gonna say like Renfield.
No.
Last Voyage of the Demeter. Christian's still raw about that one. You guys didn't go support it.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't support. It was my fault. I don't support a lot of stuff I probably should have.
No, you went and saw Last Voyage though.
I know, but there was a lot of stuff I didn't go see. All right, if I'm being dead ass honest, like it really is probably Hokum. I loved it that much.
Okay.
I'm being dead serious. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Justin
most people are genuinely loving Hokum too. There's not, it's okay. It's holy shit. The Oddity was good, but I didn't know this guy could let it roll like this. I really think it's that good. I don't think he's gonna top it. Anyway,
I want to see it. Justin Houston, how young were you when you saw your first horror movie? Dude, the earliest, I don't know if it was the first one, but the earliest memory I have is either Child's Play or The Exorcist. But I was probably 5 or 6.
Yeah. Same. It had to have been around there, and it was Stephen King's It double box VHS.
Yeah,
that we had. And this was pre the white one where you see him ripping through. It was like the cover was, it had a top and it was the cover of the sewer with the green
Oh,
alien
yeah.
hand.
We had
That's
it
what I
too.
had. That's what I
Mhm.
had.
Jamamba wants to know what's your guys' thoughts on the new Sleepaway Camp reboot and if it's even possible to do the twist in this day and age. It's definitely possible to do the twist in this day and age. I would actually say it is far less out of left field in this day and age. And my thoughts, I'm open to it, man. I really am. I think if there is a franchise, there's a few franchises I think of that I'm like, that could really use a modern adaptation. I do not mean remake of the original, but like a modern adaptation. Sleepaway Camp is one of them. I'm open to it.
It's going to be, and take this to the bank, it's going to be the biggest piece of shit because the director doesn't know what he's doing. He got incredibly lucky. And if anybody doesn't believe me, watch the only other movie he ever directed, which was Return to Sleepaway Camp. It's an embarrassment. He got totally lucky. It's a one-off. It's going to be a horrible piece of shit. And if anything, the ending won't hit anywhere near as hard if they just do it over again. So I'm willing to bet it's going to suck horribly. Nobody wanted to make the movie he wanted to make until Keenan wanted to do it, or Kel, whichever one it was. I hate to sound pessimistic, but I really think it's going to be a horrible piece of shit. Speaking of pieces of shit, the Ice Cream Man trailer for Eli Roth's new film looks terrible. Anyway,
Yeah, I think that movie's just going to be all.
it looks like ass, dude.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have any
Like,
substance.
dude,
But
just make you didn't make Thanksgiving 2 for that.
yeah,
Anyway,
Eli Roth is his own worst enemy. Keith he's been watching the show for years. Just wanted to say Uneeda is underrated as fuck. You guys should try and get James Jude Courtney on the show. He still does pods here and there and would vibe with you and Christian. We've tried. We have tried. I don't think Christian's tried in a while, but it is something that we've discussed.
I gotta see if I have that. It wasn't him. It was like his somebody that he represents him or something. But I'll look into it. I think I can reach back out. This was like 2 years ago when I was so.
JZ, bunch of Z's.
Okay.
Who is the better Pennywise, Tim Curry or Bill Skarsgård? I think we both say Tim Curry.
It's absolutely Tim Curry. Nothing against Bill. Tim could do what Bill did. I don't know that Bill could do what Tim did.
Yeah, and I also want to say, I think
and there is no replacing the Tim Curry. He's one of the greatest actors of our lifetime.
Well, I don't know, man. Welcome to Derry definitely made me go. I think that Bill has done more for the role in fleshing it out to where I think it's a better character. I do think that, but I'm just saying in terms of like, in terms of fear, it's Tim Curry. It's not even close. Bill,
It's
and
not even close.
that's not even nothing against Bill. Once you have grown up with Tim Curry as Pennywise, nothing and no other Pennywise will scare you like that.
The fact that he told Tommy Lee Wallace, "Why are you trying to make me look scary? If you think I can't do this, you've got the wrong guy." And Tommy said, "You're right. You're Tim Curry. What am I doing?"
Yep.
He
Best
was right.
decision he ever made.
I implore anybody to go back and watch the opening scene of Tim Curry in the sewer. One of them is like an alligator ready to pounce on its prey, which is Skarsgård. Tim is much darker.
Did you ever watch Welcome to Derry?
No, I have no desire to watch it at this time.
I swear to God, it's gonna
be
like the Chucky TV series where when you finally watch it in 5 years, you're gonna be like, "Oh, it was really good."
I'm not saying it's not gonna be good. I'm just saying I don't have any interest in it right now.
Damn it! All right,
I got a lot. Dude, I'm watching.
Hey,
I've been watching the X-Files, which I never watched, which is phenomenal. I watched Sopranos, which I dipped out on because the Sopranos got boring.
I hear you.
I've been watching a lot of stuff.
Mike Mack wants to know, how would you guys say you've evolved as people and content creators since you started the pod? As a content creator, largely thanks to Christian, we literally talked about this before we hit record tonight. I've just trusted in myself more. Like,
you bet on yourself. You realize the only way to really grow is to not rely on anybody, including this show, which, was on my channel for a long time. It's you have to grow your channel based off of just you. And
I've
that's something
had
a lot
yeah.
of people don't realize. They think collabing and doing all this is gonna grow. No. When's the last
I
time you watched a show, Nick, and you watched a show for somebody and said, "Oh god, this guest is so great. I'm gonna go start watching everything
yeah,
that they do." Doesn't
never.
happen.
It doesn't happen.
Doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
so but for me more, it was just like I was second guessing myself a lot. I was making excuses for why I couldn't or wouldn't do something, and, I think I've just gotten to a point now where it's like, if I wanna be in a better position, in my life, whether that be financially or emotionally, I have to work for that, like, sometimes you just need to put the bullshit and the excuses aside and just do it. And so I've been betting on myself more. And then as a person, um, I don't know. I mean, as a person, I've been through a failed marriage, a custody battle, health struggles of my own. Like, I think as a person, I've just really, I don't know. I think I've gotten to a place in my life where as I get older and as I've been through the stuff I have, I try to appreciate things more, the little things more, the small victories, um, I try to talk to my friends more. Christian can tell you, I text him damn near every day. Sometimes I give him shit because I'm like, oh, you took a day to get back. I mean, I'm joking with him, but like
I'm
I
bad
try
at
to
it.
I try to appreciate the little things more. So I think I look at life in the bigger picture, not in the bigger picture. I look at life more like day by day now. Try not to think about next week or next month. Just kind of live for the day because there's a lot of bad shit going on. We talked about it earlier. The economy sucks. The general morale of just the average person in today's society isn't great most of the time. Try to, I don't know, try to find things that don't suck. What about you as a creator and a person?
That was the question. How have I grown as a
How have you
creator?
and as a person? Yeah.
As a creator, that word is kind of silly to me because I don't think what I'm doing is by any stretch creation. It may not be the right word. Um, but I still enjoy making videos. I genuinely enjoy it. If my audience was really, really small and I still only had a couple thousand subs, I still love doing it. I love creating videos and well, there I am, I'm using the word, so I guess it is apropos, but I love doing it. But I really went through a phase of why not me? And I would look at channels like Drum Dums and Pizzle and this and that, and I would say, why are they doing better than me? I can do what they can do. I thought I could. I told myself that, but I never would stop and look in the mirror and say, "Well, look at their stuff and then look at yours. Are you really being honest with yourself? Does your stuff look as good as theirs? Are you as entertaining as them?" And I finally one day I said, "I'm not doing as good a job as I should be." And I really put forth the effort to try to do that. As a person, I've really tried to I've gotten a lot softer as I've gotten in my 30s. Like, I probably give people the benefit of the doubt a little too much, and I just try to I've made mistakes in my life, so I try not to be too hard on people when I hear about things or I get an impression if they do me wrong. But I've also learned that the world doesn't revolve around me, so I've realized that if somebody doesn't talk to me as often as I think they should be reaching out to me, it's not as much that they don't like me or it's the fact that they've got their own lives. I used to have a problem about that. You see all these TikToks all the time of people saying, feed into what feeds into you. If somebody doesn't hit you up, block them, move on. They're not worth your time. Well, it's like the irony is, well, that same person could see that exact same TikTok and think the same thing about you. If I care about somebody, I need to reach out to them. And I've learned that it's just as important to reach out to people as it is to want them to reach back out to you. So I've learned that I've learned that nobody is fucking thinking about me 24/7 like you do when you're in your early 20s and you just mature and you realize everybody's got their own lives. And I've got stuff personally that I go through that has made me just appreciate what I have and who's in my life that me and my wife have gone through that I've kind of talked about, but um, I don't know, man. I've really gotten a stronger faith in my 30s that I didn't have in my 20s. In my 20s, I would have believed that the thought of God and the afterlife was just a way to cope with death. But I have gone through things in my life that are so beyond coincidental that I truly believe that there's somebody looking out for me. And as long as I'll say this, man, I don't care what anybody tells me. Some people think that the devil isn't real. I got news for you. Unfortunately, he is. And I've had encounters with the devil. And there have been times in my life where he really tried to push me in directions that could have been detrimental for me. And if you ask me, I really believe that I don't get into religion too much, but I really believe that in the grand sense, we will be looked at and asked, did we improve people's lives around us or did we make people's lives worse around us? I think that's going to be the ultimate question. And that's how I try to live. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, then if I'm right and I look at life that way, then hopefully when it's all said and done, I will have made people's lives around me better, not worse. So that's the way I am today.
There you go. And this is a good one, Christian. The last one. The Jason Johnson. I already know this.
Is this the guy with the adjacent universe profile picture?
No, he's got a pinhead with his tongue sticking out.
Okay. He might have changed it. It might be the same guy.
Weirdest physical media release you have in your collection. And I already know Christian is about to stand up and go grab it. The weirdest physical media release you have in your collection.
Well, I was going to say the weirdest, not the dumbest, which is a plastic chainsaw, but the weirdest physical media release. Let me look for a second.
Mine, weirdest, I mean, it might be dumbest, but it is a DVD from 07, Transformers. And I've shown it on my channel, I believe, a while ago. And it had just like a clear slipcover case. And when you took off the slipcover, it's Megatron, and you can fold his legs and his arms out, and the discs are on his back.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember that release.
Yeah.
I don't know what my weirdest one is.
It's just weird because it's like, what are you going to do? Play with the fucking Megatron?
I mean, I'm looking like I've got the Black Maria truck from Texas Chainsaw. I've got some of the Walking Dead seasons where one of them's a big zombie head that opens up. One of them is the zombie that's part of the tree from season 4. I've got the fish tank with the zombie heads from I got stuff like that, and I don't know. I got the Halloween snow. I mean, this is weird. Like,
I don't want to talk about the snow globe. I still want that fucking thing.
Oh, dude.
I've wanted it for like 20 years.
If I ever see one, I'll grab it for you.
No, I see them on eBay, but they're like $90.
That's what I'm saying. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody very generous, a fan of the channel, said my father, who passed away, he loved collecting horror films and he would want you to have this. And it even still has the FYE or the Sam, whatever it is, the FYE or Sam Goody tag right there. I keep it right there. But, it's nice to know that this guy's father's piece is, it's in good hands here and it's taken care of. But stuff like that, I guess. I wish I had a better answer if I'm being honest. I've got weird stuff, I guess, but it's just like different countries, but nothing like that comes like in a pear or an apple or something.
Well, I mean, the weirdest thing I have in my collection that isn't physical media is paint chips from the Myers house. That's probably now, and that's not the only thing. I mean, I took a piece of bark off of the tree from Halloween Kills where Lindsay was leaning against the tree. I took a piece of burnt wood from the plot where Laurie's house burned down on Halloween Kills.
Yeah, they burned a house down. That was weird.
Yep.
That's weird.
I took, obviously, I have clippings of the hedge from both times I went. I have a rock from the garden in front of the Myers house. Got a lot of weird shit like that. And by the way, guys, because somebody did say in that video, they were like, why would you vandalize the house? I didn't. There was paint peeling and I just took the chips that were peeling. All right, relax. Like I didn't create a chip so I could steal it.
What are you gonna do?
I saw an opportunity and I took it. Plus, they painted it blue. They should have kept it white. Okay. I don't know what else to say. But holy shit, Christian, 2.5 hours, buddy. We haven't done a 2.5 hour Uneeda in a minute. So all you Uneeda whores that need a podcast and you want it large and in charge, you got it, baby. All right. You can't say you didn't. And in 2 weeks, you're going to get a live. You're going to get a live. But look, before we sign off here, I do just want to say, obviously, we're going to do a live to really kind of celebrate here in 2 weeks. But 5 years is crazy. I mean, Christian kind of touched on it earlier. Just like in our personal lives and our professional lives, like we've been through a lot. We've changed a lot. Our channels have changed a lot. Both of our channels have grown. I had 1,000 subs when we started,
Christian, I had
like
4,800 or something.
No, I think you were at like 10 or 11,000. I'm pretty sure. But all that is to say, his channel has quadrupled, since then. I know here in couple months, I'll reach 20,000. Like, so we've changed, like things have changed, but amidst all of the change, the podcast has still been here. It's been a constant. It's less now, it's less frequent because of a lot of those other factors. But
and your channel wouldn't be growing if it was still once a week. It's just way too much. It was just way too much. If that was the only thing we're doing and the show was super, super successful and we could clip everything and post videos and we're making enough money to where like we could both have that, I would have done that. But the reality is it's just like, it's so oversaturated. There's a million horror movie podcasts. It's so hard to break through. And ultimately, this is the way it needs to be, in my opinion.
There are, but there's only one Uneeda horror podcast. And Uneeda is where you come to get movie news, movie reviews, and questions about life and death. And right. I mean, you get everything here. We've gotten comments before, Christian has seen them too, where people will be like, it took you guys an hour to get into like the actual topic. And every time someone says something like that, I'd literally just say, yeah, welcome to the podcast. That's what we do. Like, that's for all of you guys that are OGs, that. And that's why you keep listening, because it genuinely feels like buddies shooting the shit with other buddies. And that, to me, that's the kind of stuff I like to listen to. I don't like the overproduced, the super glossy, the corporate. We're going to go from topic to topic. We're going to have a structure, a set structure. No, that's not us. Never going to be us. So if that's what you want from a podcast, we're not for you. But hopefully we are for you at this point. And hopefully we go another 5 years plus, because that H50 weekend episode is going to.
I'm going. Mark my words. I will be there at H50 wearing a Friday the 13th shirt.
I'm telling you guys right now, we got to coordinate this, but I'm going to let you guys know. I'm letting Christian know live on air. I'm going to fly my ass down to Louisiana first, so I can make sure this motherfucker gets on a plane and goes. Like, it's going to happen.
I'll drive anywhere. It's just planes, dude. I got to get I got to find a good road. I guess we'll just veteran. Uber, right? You don't need to rent a car, do you? Just Uber.
You'd want to rent a car because it gives you the freedom, like, to go do whatever you want whenever you want. Like, if you Uber, you gotta think about it, man. Like, logistically, the Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 filming locations, they're about a half hour away from the Halloween filming location.
But don't they do like a tour? Like, you get on a bus?
Yeah, they do a bus tour, but at the same time, again, you're on a set schedule. You know what I mean? So there is something to be said for the freedom of, like, because if you're going to go there, even just for the weekend, you're probably going to want to go a day early and maybe stay a day after. And in some of that free time, you might be like, hey, I didn't get to see this. Like, I want to go see this. And we're not on a set schedule. So, like, renting a car, that's what we did when we were there. I just feel like that's best. Plus, dude, Ubers in the Los Angeles area are not going to be cheap. So, but again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I can tell you guys right now, I've already started saving for it. And I'm what I'm doing, and I don't know if you thought about this too. I'm taking a little bit out of my YouTube every month, and I'm putting it aside, just a little bit, and I'm just putting it into a fund. And I'm hoping to have a couple $1,000. Realistically, that'll definitely happen. That way, I can meet everyone I want to meet. I can get the photos I want to get photos, people with. I can afford, the airfare, all that. Like, I got 2 years. I got no excuse. So, if you guys are in the area or you're gonna be at age 50, you heard Christian. He has overpromised, and he better deliver.
I'm going. Mark my words.
All right. Well, you got anything else before we sign off?
No, I think we covered it. We'll talk about this down the road, but they're trying to do another Romero zombie film based off of Twilight that he wrote that I'm pretty pissed off about. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it as always.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks for the Dicks Out 5-year anniversary.
There you go.